Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, guys, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. We got Neil and Sean. They're ready to go. They're ready to look at the tickers that you voted for every day on the Midday show with Darren and I. Let's start with the, okay, well, we got to go back there. Let's start with the market in general. The triple Qs just took a bit of a dive there, or the triple Qs, excuse me, taking a bit of a dive on our way to 480 on the triple Qs, finding some resistance right now. But the first ticker, as decided by you guys, Nvidia, and no surprise there, they had another shareholder meeting today where they announced that Jensen Huang believes a Blackwell architecture platform will likely be their most successful product. That is slated to come out later this year, that new GPU, guys. What is your look on Nvidia?
The new thing will be their best thing.
Ooh.
I, for one, am shocked because, I mean, usually what you want the best company in the world to do is just get worse, right? Like, that's how it's supposed to be. No, of course, we're kidding. But look, AMD, Nvidia, AMD's on my mind. We'll talk about it later. It's Nvidia and Micron day because Micron reports aftermarket. Nvidia was a V-shaped recovery the last couple of days. Today, it just kept giving it back and giving it back and giving it back. So once the market opened, it ended up being a bit of a trend down for me. We took our shots. 137 was a level we liked. 123 was a level we liked. 125 was a level I liked. I traded all three of those levels, and we're going to come out not on top of it. I was able, like the last long at 123, was able to get a couple of thirds. Oh, the last two longs off 123. Got 2/3 of what we were down on the day back. Not all of it, because look, did it get through VWAP? Did it continue? Like, where's the breakout on the investor day? Right? Like, it made the move off 23, got to 25, stalled. Made the move off 23, got to 24, stalled. So you're actually still in the downward trend. If any one of those breaks out VWAP and gets to 27, probably a different story. But down 2%, I guess another sort of a sell the news event here. You know, they didn't really, I guess they didn't really give everything that they wanted. And when a stock is this high up, sometimes, you know, even when you get a good catalyst, even when people like to buy the dip, you get that event coming in and a bit of a disappointment there. But the stock has been absolutely fantastic on a long range. So it's bound to happen. It hasn't even gone bear territory, as you were mentioning, Sean. Yeah, no. So I still think that's very much possible for this and a couple of other names in the chip space that haven't really fallen from those highs. Enough.
We should still be in Tesla. All right, so you just don't see the positions. They'll come in once they get it filled. We're long right now, 123. I mean, Nvidia's been great. We bought it early off 125. We liked that dip there. We're able to get it. It was a sticky note name, still is, obviously. Yeah. Nice move back up. That's $2, $3. Rebought it, and then as we were going off air, basically 10:30 into 11, that's when this move started to come in. So we did take a couple of hits here, but still, as we were saying, survived. We have that bottom at 122.60. That out right there is 124.20. So it's like, for every 30-cent hit we have like $1 and change back up, right? I mean, this last move was a dip back into 123, that past support there. So, you know, we'll still buy it. Look at this trade right before, this is right at 12 o'clock. We were buying it ahead of the talk, and that is 123.65. I mean, look, there it is right there, 124.92. So that right there is $1.30. We didn't even get anything out until it was like 40, 50 cents in the money. So, you know, well done to there, dropped in, got it out. We still have about 20% left or so. So hopefully we can get something out if it comes back up to 124 and change. Maybe a reload, but not until 122.50. Nvidia, a great stock, a P&L positive day for me. But yeah, it's been a little choppy here, especially in the last 2 hours.
Micron reports after the bell today. Sorry, I didn't see the switch. Make sure to catch that with Adara and Neil on the Market Recap Show. You can see that it really gapped up in the morning with the overall chips, but it's been kind of a sell the new, well, there was no news, but it's been selling off all day, trying to hold above 141 right now. What's the look on Micron?
I think for this after going into earnings, I might be done trading it. We'll see what happens. It's really starting to fall asleep. On the higher time frame, Micron did do a pretty hefty pullback. And we talked about some chip names that did or didn't make pullbacks. Micron was up at like $158 just like a week and a half ago and pulled into 135. That's not chump change. You know, $22 there, it's not 20% or anything, but it's definitely double digits, and it went right back into a previous high and made a bit of a bounce. I still think ideally that 50 period has been the jam for this stock, clearly as you can see. So if we get a print down there, I think that would be the dip buy. They turn a profit, they're EPS positive last quarter, which was a turn for them. So they're going to need to have that. Feel like if they don't have that, you are going to see that 50 period moving average. But the trend has not been very, very clean since it made that dump. It's mostly sideways, like 143. I like the 143. That's where we were short earlier. And then the 139, I don't want any part of the bid if it starts falling. But yeah, if you get 143, which has been the high from Monday and then kind of a lower high on Tuesday, that would be the spot for me. Not sure it gets up there this afternoon, unfortunately. So Micron might be a nothing burger. I'm not saying it's going to go down, but I think all it's going to take is, if they're not positive on that EPS, I think you're going to see that 50 period moving average. I think that's a good spot to be, that 125. But for this afternoon, I'd be looking to fade 143. It's got to break that price to get me bullish.
Just looking here at, obviously we just talked about them reporting tonight, so they will come through. Micron today
13%.
Is the 26. Yeah, there it is right there. Expected move 13, so previous move 14. So that's a big move. I don't think it moves that much, but we'll wait to see if that does come through. So take off 10% or so off of where we are right now, and then you're going to get some of those lows. We talked about it earlier, Micron. I like the 134-ish area. That's not going to be, I typed in MU, it doesn't even show up, so that's pretty cool. MU.
What, really?
There. No, it wasn't even an option. It was some random thing. All right, so nice little move down here with the NASDAQ. That's 140. Looks like that's the one you're going to have to play for today. So $1 down, you might want to look at a 140 hold. But again, heading into the report, there's more people that know about this stock than us. So we'll just see if it falls back in. You give off 14% on this one. 10%, again, it'd be $14, so $17 or so back down. Yeah, it gets you to that 125. So, yeah, I think that would be a buy if they miss and they go down 14%. We saw CRM miss, some of these other names start to miss and battle back. Obviously, the best name that's missed lately was Meta, that came all the way back in and now all the way back up. So, yeah, lots of potential here. It's a name in the right space. I will not be trading it for the rest of the day.
Tesla having a fantastic day today, getting the nod from Stifel and a price target of 265. Stifel actually initiating coverage today on Tesla for the first time. As you saw there, up 4 1/4, a little bit off highs, guys. Sean, tell us about that 5-banger.
Because Tesla right now is the #1 P&L name on all shows. And it's one trade. Like, the thing is like, hit the sirens, man. I mean, it's just like, we got to just trade properly. And I feel like this one was exactly what we wanted to do. Huge move up. Missed the move. Fail? I don't know. I mean, we're long Nvidia when all this is happening, so fail, I guess. But Nvidia also did this. But then it's to be brave enough and be confident enough to put on a decent amount of shares when it retraces back into a past level that's held. So 192 held. So we came in, we actually have 191.75 against VWAP. So this was 25 cents worth of risk. Remember when we were talking about that? Well, this is $1 right there. That's about 75 cents. And then we got it out all the way to the top side, 194 and change. So $3 in the money there at the end of it. It's your #1 P&L trade of the day. And again, it's just the idea. P&L doesn't matter. It's pulling back into VWAP. That's what matters. That's the trade. Whether or not you want to put on 10 shares or 10,000 shares, it's the same trade. Wait for something to come back into past support. Thank you for the shout out there, Sharif. But just to let everybody know, we're up, sure, we're up on Nvidia, and Nvidia is great. But look at all these fills. Like, we have 70 trades, 70 fills on Nvidia. Still a positive name and a nice positive name. But the idea is I'm up more money on this Tesla trade that required way less stress. But again, you have to put it on, and we're glad to do that. So right there, Tesla works out for us. Let's see if it can come back in, and we'll try to get the long again. Tesla up 4%. Definitely like the stock, man. We've been talking about this for a while. All the longs, all the time for Tesla.
We just answered Jesse in there. Jesse, I'm not using an indicator for FFIE. Support at 45. I'll get to that one a little bit later on. It's not really moving just yet, but I want to point out everyone's in DJT. DJT's making a bit of a move. We'll talk about that one a little bit later on after the rundown as well. I didn't have Tesla. I'm glad you did. It's a great look. It's a great stock. We're talking about missed opportunity, I think, dip buying it on the daily, but you kind of have to have a plan for it. We talked about Rivian holding that $10 level, and it seemed obvious at the 50 period. Well, Tesla was doing the same thing at its 50 period, and it gave you a chance. It gave you a while, that 175, and now the move to 200 is here. The 200 period is going to be there at 205 if we get there. But like I mentioned for Rivian, Rivian gave you a similar look. Obviously, Tesla's not going to go $10 to $17 and do a 70% kind of move in there in a matter of days. But still, I think we're all more interested long-term probably in Tesla. More people have that as a core holding. Just because this will be the opportunity to mention Rivian. Rivian went downward trend the whole way. So we've talked about this before. Like, if you're going to go against the grain on something, make sure you have outs. Make sure you trade the levels that you like. Eventually, that 14.5 did hold. So we got that long, but we did try it again. So we gave some back trying to go long in Rivian. So Tesla holding the highs. Rivian might be up 20% and Tesla might be up a smaller percentage than that. But you have to remember as a trader, sometimes you got to keep in mind, what is the stock since the open, right? Like since the open, Rivian has not gotten past the open, like that high price. It has been trend down. So if you're going against the grain, make sure you have an out. Make sure you got levels that you want to trade against. This EV name, definitely not enjoying things. If it loses the bottom here, I don't necessarily think it fills in the entire gap, but if it can't hold this bottom today, Rivian could be giving even more than the 20% that it's given since pre-market highs.
From 3,000 some odd dollars a share down into the mid-60s. Chipotle now trading post-split. That 50-for-1 split coming into effect. Very sideways, consolidative. It's almost flat here, guys. Did you trade this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had one trade, and then we said when the market opened up, and I did say before the market opened in the pre-market, look, CMG, when it was $3,000, obviously a stock that expensive, the spread is just going to be wild, right? So, you're expecting when a stock does something like a 50-to-1 is trading at $60, I'm expecting the spread to normalize. At the open, it really didn't. Like for a $60 stock, it was down at the bottom. The first time it was at 63, I was seeing 30 cents spreads, which is not normal for a stock doing volume. It's at 21 million shares, so it was pretty good. I took a shot at a simple hold of 63, stop at 63 trade early. And the second it got me out, like it wicked that bottom, you're right back up at like 64 on the same bar. Like the same candle, you're right back up $1. So it was definitely more wild at the open for longer than I anticipated. And if you just held out to like after 10 o'clock, it was a little bit more reasonable, much more reasonable stock after 10 o'clock. I went to other places to try to get it back. But Chipotle, I feel like a lot of people are going to like this stock, even not withholding. And again, this is not split adjusted hour chart, but you'll see that it's flat, right? So you can know that it's trading effectively at like these prices up here. But even though it's really close to its highs and it's got a very high multiple, people are still going to like it now that it's a little bit cheaper. And I would worry at least a little bit in the short term for a stock like Kava. Because I think some of what made Kava so good was that it was an option to be like the next Chipotle. Well, now you can buy Chipotle at $63, and Kava, which is very similar and again, very expensive, this is down 1.7% today. And I don't wonder if it doesn't pull back into the 50 period just on a little bit of sympathy. Like people say, oh, I was getting into this one because I couldn't buy Chipotle. Well, now I can just buy Chipotle. Maybe I'll take my profits on Kava.
So right now, just quickly here, we had written down Chipotle down here, and the idea was just wait to levels to get long, and then we actually went over there. So anyways, we'll talk about this sticky note as we go, of course. But yeah, that 63 was just something that we should, like I said, there's only so many trades, and I'm now, as you guys know, of the belief that just to make the best trades, and focus on those. So that's what I've been doing. But yeah, that 63, we said wait for a bottom. That came pretty easily there at 9:45. It was well worth the chance to do that. The main idea here is that we knew we wanted to get long. So the fact that it is, just a split adjusted, the fact that we're now near the highs of the day just kind of validates that. So we were down 2 or 3% early, and there goes Chipotle. There's a better look at the chart. Straight upside right there off that level. So we nailed it, but we're not in it. So that's that. You know, what else can we do? I like Chipotle. I think it's a great stock. It's up 14,000% from its IPO. So, I mean, say it for what it is. That is what Chipotle is.
That ain't bad.
If you just grab this stock 20 years ago, you're basically retired. So congratulations anybody that did that. Chipotle continues to impress. And let's hope that Kava and all those other names can get going as well. I made a lot of money on Tim Hortons and stuff like that. But right now we're looking at CMG, possible good long here.
Insane.
Rosenblatt giving the nod to Apple today to the tune of $260 and putting a buy rating there. Bank of America Securities also chiming in with its own rating of $230. As you can see, guys, good day for Apple, almost at those highs, breaking through that 214. What's the look?
Yeah, this one, for me, for the time being, it's my largest holding. But that goes back and forth. It changes. I sold some Nvidia when you probably shouldn't have in certain moments. And since the bump in Apple, I haven't sold any. But yeah, 215 is a double top-ish. It doesn't mean it's not exactly 215 bucks, 214.75, whatever. A distinction without a difference in here. I think we gotta really shoot for, at best, 214. 213.25 is close enough to VWAP, and there was a good chop and support down there. That if the market continues to hold underneath 20 thou, like this is the futures, you're in the middle of the range. If we hold under 20 thou and head back into the bottom, what are the things to dip by in the afternoon? Apple looks like it's still in that nice upward churn. And if we do double top it up here, I'd rather look for a long on a dip. And if we look for shorts, I'd rather be somewhere weak. So, you know, if I'm looking shorts in AMD this afternoon, not Apple. I know it's at a double top. Some people like to short double tops. But I see a trend in AMD. I want to jump back into this trend if we can. Apple, I think, can be dip bought. 14 looks good. 13 quarter and VWAP is about 213 on Apple. They just keep on winning. When you get to that 220 level, I think there'll be some concern because that's where it turned last time. But until we get there, I think it's relatively smooth sailing.
I actually did a bit of research, and my #1 stock for the month is Apple. So we haven't traded it yet today, but we have traded the market. Here we were short the NASDAQ, which worked for us, and then we got stopped out when it broke above 74 and broke above VWAP. Then the market came back in, similar to what Apple did, and then we got long down here again off of a spot that we thought was past resistance, also the 50 period on the 20-minute moving average. We were able to get long, and then boom, right back up there, and now we're hovering around the 20. VWAP and the 200 again. That's the 50-period moving average. So again, taking some money out of the TQs. We look back at, because I wanted to see, you know, what my #1 stocks were this month, and Nvidia just split. So Apple still is big dog here. So I mean, again, great trading. Love the name. Love the stock, and just should be buying it every day. I mean, honestly, it's you can get out if you're wrong. But if you're right, this is what happens. So Apple up 3%. And if you just rewind again, and I wish I could do this as well, you just rewind to 8:30 or 9 o'clock when we looked, and I was like, okay, the market's down and Apple's up. I was like, what? We knew that there was going to be some kind of strength there, and look at the 200 period. It's basically taking it the whole time. So there it is right there. That's this green line. Nice move to the upside. This bluish line is VWAP, and then the 50 period is okay. It would have got you out a couple times there, which would have been nice. So 50 period moving average, everything working out here today. It hasn't been, like I was saying, the greatest day. It started off really good. Some money was given back there. There's still some green traders on the floor, of course. And yeah, Apple would be one of the reasons why. That and Tesla. Tesla's not, we already talked about Tesla, but this name, again, early, there was a lot of damage put in on that long, and then this one right there, like I said, back in for TSLA. So a couple great names there to go. One name, we do have one red name today for us, and it's Oracle. And it just, we are averaging it into VWAP. I like the name. We're done with the rundown now, Armin. If you want to take that off or keep it on, it's all good. It doesn't matter to me. But right there, this Oracle play, we were trying to go long off VWAP as it came right back in. Thought it was well worth it. Got out for a haircut, and it dropped all the way back in, right into pre-market, or I guess not pre-market's all the way down here, right into these levels of 139.50. Coming back in for Oracle right now, so watch out for this name to maybe get bought up if we come back into 139.40. But this is the red stock that we have. Just easy to talk about winners, but it's more about the honesty and just telling you guys, look, we're going to be 5-1, but this one we have dropped down on that, and it's a good thing that our one hit, of course, is minimal compared to the win. So that's kind of what you're trying to do. The TQs isn't going to be a huge one. It's kind of not doing anything. We'll try to hold on to this, see if it goes back up. Market's under VWAP right now, and
it's not moving. But
yeah, like what's the catalyst? We don't have Fed. We don't have much happening right
we
here.
got the debate tomorrow. DJT's on the move.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So maybe there you go.
Must see TV for everybody.
So that's a perfect example.
Even my old ass is gonna stay up for that.
What?
Tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Oh come on, son.
Yes, good.
No,
I'm not going to be here Friday, so we can discuss it. But I'm excited.
I mean,
me and Brendan talked about that too.
Yeah, I've missed a lot. Like sometimes the thing about sports is I can always watch like those highlight packages. They'll be like a game 7, they'll be like, oh, watch the game in 5 minutes or watch the game in 10 minutes.
Right.
And they have it's everywhere. You can do it for hockey, for basketball, for baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm on the train in the morning and I'll be able to catch game 7 of the playoffs in hockey.
It's good for baseball.
Baseball.
Because you get the action.
Oh yeah,
30
it's
minutes.
only when the ball's in play.
Yeah,
but I have a feeling I'm just going to want to watch the actual debate live because that's how I roll. But DJT is legitimately moving. So if the market's not going to do anything, if Apple's not going to give us opportunities to dip, if Tesla's not going to give us opportunities to dip, if FFIE is going to trade in a 2-cent range, then this is moving. And last I checked, here I'm going to go to a higher time frame chart. Let's go to a 15. Well, looky, there goes hooky. $38 looks pretty darn juicy. I know most people would look at this and say, why wouldn't you want to short this level? I can't argue with, if you were going to short a level, this is probably the one that you would take a shot at if it fails 38. But there is a pretty wide gap from here till you got 40, and then you got 42 up there. I'd much rather this be bamboozle some people that are short at this level, I would say. Like, try to get them into the short. Like, break down underneath 38, get people in, hold 37.5, and then look for some upside in DJT. That is super strong. I can't think of a catalyst outside of the fact that the debate is tomorrow. And I don't know that it needs more than that. Certainly possible that that's going to be good enough for this afternoon. As mentioned, I would want to be short again in AMD. I think the 157 quarter range makes a lot of sense in there. Going to stay away from Micron this afternoon. I was looking at ARM, and ARM was kind of, I don't know, I went into a long that was no good. Like I had it actually twice, and the weird thing about the long, it's like, why would you get out flat twice? And it basically comes down to, I've liked ARM short every time it's failing the highs, right? Like how many times have you seen me where ARM is failed a high, double top, triple top from last week, and I'm looking for a short entry. So I got into a long, it's like flat, whatever, that's kind of like a nothing burger. And then I shorted it under VWAP, we're scalping some out, and we'll be up a little bit on it because we took some out. But now this is even barcoding. So it's gotta be AMD for me. I don't know why this is not moving. Usually, if it's bullish, it's ripping. If it's bearish, it's trending down. So this is an old one that we like. We're not going to get into. Rivian Millionaire, no, I cannot walk yet. It'll be a long time before I'm walking. Normally, I can hop around. That's for damn sure. But yeah, we're going to have to wait around for a dip buy in one of the things we like that's strong. And DJT just came back underneath that 38. So look, let's see. I feel like this is a level where anyone shorting is going to look for failure at 38, maybe getting in on this. So if it pulls down, goes into money for them, then you might see something of a bounce here from the previous high, which is, it's not 37.5, it's like 37.35 in here. So I'd look for that rubber band play to try to catch a dip buy on DJT.
You asked me.
I almost said GameStop. I don't know why.
Well, similar, I mean,
But they're not really.
Similar action.
Yeah, I guess
Action.
yeah, they are.
I mean, basically both moving on, news-based events, I think, there for GameStop and for DJT. So again, like that stock, I think Neil's right about that one. You got to go over and trade things that are moving for damn sure.
Seriously, Ponzi?
Look, some people here in the chat, what the hell's Ponzi saying now? All right, so just I was going to use 122.50. So we only have 20% left of this Nvidia trade. We saw this move into the close yesterday, and just huge move, and then opened up huge, and then now you get sort of that letdown, I guess. I don't know what we're expecting from Investor Day, to be honest with you, but I guess it's been a letdown. It's down 2%. I don't know. You can't keep these stocks down for long. So it's just like, I'm thinking of just making sure that it's the low of the day. So I'm going to put another bid. I'm going to take some more here around 123 and then hold out for a 122.50 break. Take something again in here somewhere. So that's going to be my strategy for Nvidia. So, I mean, we could just put some bids here at 123.05 maybe. We'll put something. And then in and around 120, 122.70s. I don't know, we might not even do that. Let's just see what happens. If it comes screaming down, we'll take the 123 and then see if it holds again. That's what we did here. We let it fade all the way back and we didn't even start the bidding. We started it at 50. So it came down here $1.50 before we started buying. So the patience is strong today with this one for me. And not like it was yesterday where we just kept shorting it. But right into there was the last draw. And then if it does come back in, then yeah, we'll get hit on it and not lose our day on it. But we'll try it one more time for the long. Again, market is just hovering here. Now that we're under VWAP and I just sort of see the way this is, it's not even trending. I was going to say trending, but boring.
I mean, technically.
I'd like to go short. It's under VWAP, the market. But this, is it under VWAP? I mean, you're really 20 points away. Like, it's not doing anything. So you're one Apple 50-cent move away from being above VWAP again. You're an Nvidia flush, but away from it being under VWAP by 50 points. So I don't know. Let's just trade the strength. So push back in for Apple into 213 and change. I think that's a long. And then we'll look at other names.
Amazon's a beast. Google's a beast as well. The shorts, don't short DJT till Friday. Yeah, you know what? I'm not saying it's an automatic short on Friday, but after the debate, like, what's the catalyst left? So there's that 38 level. I think my thesis is that people probably shorted this because if I was looking to short this stock, this is exactly where I would have gotten in. 38 was the level, so it breaks down under here. I'd be short at 38 change. The way I roll, I probably stop out here, but some people I think are holding on to it till 39. So we grabbed the first available dip. It held 37.80. So creatively, we go long when it goes back through 38. Take some out in front of the half and then shoot for the whole dollar. I still think the $40 level is going to be a problem for DJT. Doesn't mean it has to curl there, but I'm going to anticipate that it does. What else we got going on here? Still nothing on Apple. 123 on Nvidia. It's like that's the only long that was clean for me, and it's just hanging out down there, but it is trending down. Don't go long weak stocks. So yeah, got my offer in front of 39 even. Amazon is the other name which is cruising. It's a little too linear. These are tough when it does this, unless you have like a program where you're really scalping like heavily and taking every single dip for 20, 30 cent scalp trades. Amazon doesn't have the price movement that I like, but it's an absolute home run today if you got it early. Just like I look at Tesla and I look at this and I ask myself, like, which one is more likely to give you a dip buy or some kind of a power move to trade this afternoon? So I got Tesla on my black charts and Apple for moves in case it pulls back. If Amazon does a dip and rip that's really good, then I'll end up regretting it. But until then, you got to make a pick. I only keep 4 charts up that aren't my show charts outside of the future. So at any given time, I'm looking at 4 things. Even if I'm in position in others, like I got 4 stocks that I'm charting real time that I want to focus on. So sometimes you can be in the money on something with a trailing stop, that's different. But I want to have Tesla, Nvidia, obviously DJT we just got into. I think Apple. It can be worthwhile. And if you guys have anything that looks pretty cool, let us know. We'll have a look at Rivian. Maybe that's starting to move again. I'd love to see that thing catch a bid, mostly because I want it closing above 15 for my personal account.
Remember when we really did well on Rivian? And now it's all the way down. And I hope that you guys remember when about 25% ago, I was saying this was a sell in your own PA. So if you didn't get anything out, man, I mean, now you're having to wait. You just lost 25%. Like 25% is a big move in any name. And this name was $17 here at 8 o'clock. And now it's 14. Like that's a pretty sizable move back in there for Rivian. So yeah, not very healthy there for that pullback. We are well off that name. We hit it and basically forgot about it after that, hit it and quit it. I mean, it dropped off to 1550 there, and we were able to get the last piece out. Like it came back in, bounced again off 15 where we were long. We actually long down here, 1480, and that out is 16. Like 1480 out there we had an average price, so it's not like we take $1 on the whole load, but out 1620, like $1.40 right there on Rivian. I mean, that's pretty epic right there. And then it comes back in and we wind up taking that last $1 on the last piece. And then now you're at the bottoms. I'm going to leave it alone as per what Neil was saying there. We don't need to go long weak stocks. And right now, Rivian, I would slap a fail. I mean, we were talking about that. You just gave up 25% by not getting some out, right? So, that sucks. Let's see if Rivian can get back to the upside there. We already talked about that Nvidia trade. Robinhood, let's review that. Again, hit this and quit this as well. Move this hood so you can see. That's the low, that's the high. And then we held that 10% left and got out in all this kerfuffle here at 22.75, which is all good. The long was 22.50. That is 80 cents. Most of these outs are right here for 60, 70 cents. That really got going really quick. So again, a pretty good level, a pretty good trade there for our friend in Robinhood. So that was, again, a pretty good play there. And then the out that we probably shouldn't have, but have anyways, Tesla. So this was a great trade, and I'm completely happy getting it out. We came back, and I actually tweeted it. When we got out, I tweeted that we were getting out of it at that time. And again, part of the reason was we came back to 95. Brendan and I were just filming up the last bits of the podcast. Make sure you check out the Freedom and Wealth podcast this week. And then I missed the 195. Came back, saw this dip down, and then just said, you know what? I didn't want to buy it because it wasn't at VWAP. And then I said, the next time it comes to 195, I have to make sure I get something. So we do get a little something, you know what I'm saying? Out right there on Tesla, and appears to have been, look, to say something's a mistake, obviously means it's a mistake, but you can't have that hindsight, Fabian, or else, man, that poor guy that paid a couple hundred Bitcoins or whatever it was for a pizza back in the day.
He was happy.
He was happy? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In hindsight, probably not. But
he's done some interviews, and it's like...
Yeah, he was probably stoned as you know what. He was probably loved that. Oh!
Yeah, he was like, he knew what he was doing in the moment. I think that's one thing that at least was pretty clear. Maybe he's lying. I have no idea. But he always seemed like when you make a decision like that, he kind of knew it could come and turn into anything. But if... Like, the reason he got it was just to quickly use it. He thought it was cool. It was brand new. Hopefully he got back in and held on to something. But at the end of the day, you just have to have a plan of action for whatever it is, right? And that's one of the most important things. Because when we talk about trading, a lot of times like, oh, it's easy to say you want to have a plan for trading. Of course. Well, what stock am I going to trade? What entry am I going to take? What exit am I going to take? But in life, it's not always as simple. But one of the things that got discussed on episode it wasn't just episode 4, because you guys said this in the previous episode as well. When you're going through and trying to avoid distractions, level up in anything. Like if you want to do better in your business or in your personal life, want to be better working out, whatever that might be, you've got to set yourself some kind of a goal. What is that first step going to be? It can be the most simple thing. And I'll just give you one example. I hate running. I can't stand it if it's not sprinting. So I'm not somebody that likes to go for long runs. Obviously, I'm not doing any of that right now. But one of the things that actually got me when I was doing more running, like longer distances, was I would get home, and if I was supposed to go for a run, I just told myself, I'm going to get in, I'm putting on my running shorts. Once I get home from work, I'm putting on my running shorts. And the first time I did it, I literally didn't go for the run. I talked myself out of it, but the next time I put them on again. And it was just that little thing. And then eventually, it's like once I went for the run, yeah, you put on the shorts, you're going for that run. It's that simple. I do the same thing when I got to do a workout. If I'm working out in the morning, I wake up, put on that gear, and it's that mental trigger. Whatever works for you. Sometimes it's check out your chart in the morning. Why the heck is Mobileye moving? Like, that's the question I'm asking myself right now. DJT, by the way, I'm going to get DJT because we came out of it, failed that 39 level. We said it gets to 39, we're going to check back out. And look at the dump city. It failed 39, dump city back into 37. This might be an opportunity. If it doesn't go into a halt, right in here, 37 could be a little bit of a dip buy. So I want to see some buyers come into this. We jammed out. I like to take breakouts station to station with a trailing stop. This is why. Because there's no catalyst for this. I mean, obviously the debate is coming up, but does that make this worth something? I don't know fundamentally. But we'll look for a dip buy there for sure. Mobileye, there isn't any news on it. It's just having a fantastic day, 5%. What's weird about that for Mobileye is there was positive news for Waymo overnight. And I don't understand why that would, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Google's doing some good things when it comes to automated driving. So still dipping into DJT. Yesterday's afternoon support was all the way down at 36. Now that 37's gone, might just have to wait for 36 on this one. Or look for another flyer that wants to still go. As fast as they go up, they can come down even faster.
Oh, man. Yeah, and again, catalyst. I mean, that's the reason why you have to make some of these trades, right? And the catalyst for us to make that Freedom and Wealth podcast is exactly for the talks that Neil was just saying. Just different kind of ways of thinking about things. And often we're sitting here and we're talking about scalping and making money and trading, and just some traders lose, some traders don't lose. We talk about that. It's more longer term and more just different kind of talks than that right now. Make sure you do get some hydration, nation. I'm gonna have to go get a water in a minute. I was going to look at Amazon, but you just sort of touched on that. And the one thing I wanted to say that came in a little bit late today, and you know what? If you're on the West Coast, apparently it's the best coast. And if you're on the West Coast, then it's time for lunch. So today was pretty good, apparently. There is some leftover, so I don't know how good it exactly was. But something different that I don't ever believe I've said here on the show. Hot roast beef sandwich with caramelized onions and feta cheese. The feta cheese seems weird to me for that one, but
Feta?
I'm just reading what it says.
Yeah?
BPI. Goat or feta? Okay, either way, it seems a little... Oh, yeah. Ramin also says it could potentially goat cheese as well. With hot grains and sweet potatoes. So I get that was a salad, kind of quinoa-ish. They're grainy salad, but yeah, right there, a hot beef. So I like that. I'll even order that. I love a nice little roast beef shaved up there, a hot beef sandwich. We talked about Philly cheesesteak the other day as well. That's just quickly.
Just no feta.
Go ahead. Yeah, that feta does seem.
I'm not.
When I said that, it kind of made my. Feta makes it better.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with, look, if you love feta, go for it. Knock yourself out. Like, I'm one of those, like, my wife absolutely loves feta. If I order something with it on it, I'm like, there you go. It's all
I love feta cheese. I just don't know in a sandwich with this beef dip.
I'll have it if it's on something.
I mean, Greek salad.
Like, I'm not gonna pick it off of like most things, but if
feta
she wants
with olives, man?
I'll give it to. Oh yeah, with olives on a Greek salad.
I mean, this is what.
But I'm picky. I'm picky with salads. Everybody else puts too much dressing on salads. I felt you go to a nice restaurant, they'll put just the right amount. Yeah. I don't like places that drench salad dressing. Let a brother put it on himself. Like, get it on.
You can just request it on.
Yeah, and especially don't even get me started with Caesar salad because it's too thick and I don't know. Nice balsamic. Nice and thin's good to go. We might have missed the bounce here on DJT.
Bears versus Bulls.
DJT went ham just now. This is a real, can we come to the chart for a second, Ramin? Yeah, this was a real wick where it got to 36.60. Now, I was waiting. I just said, if 37 is not going to hold, let's look at the 36 level. The second I was waiting for 36, it did this bounce, and it was at 37.80 right quick. So let's let this one calm down before we jump back into it somewhere else. Wild price action here. On DJT. It is the mover, at least for now. Amazon, still not doing much. Apple, it's kind of a dip buy, but it's losing this consolidation level. A good consolidation, but if you want a long, you want it breaking up out of the consolidation, not breaking down out of the consolidation, which is exactly what's happening. So whether we get that or not, I'm not sure. AMD doesn't want any part of up at this 57 quarter to 57 half. So got to wait for that for a short, see what ARM is doing. ARM still completely sideways. Nvidia's coming down into 123. I'm talking myself out of going back into that long. It's not a super strong stock today. I don't feel like that's the right place to go. Maybe Micron after all. Micron's not doing anything either. I don't want to be forcing anything. Yeah, I feel like DJT might just be the place because nothing is moving right now.
No, we said that the market would be just one of these slow grinds, and it seems to be what exactly is what's happening there. So it was a good out for us on the TQs, I guess. So we just started emptying it out as we came back on the show, and that was the 200 period. We got out at VWAP and at the 200 period since we've been going. So good couple levels there to look at. We'll continue to go. I want to find some other names. We did miss. I saw someone say, you know, the stock that is near and dear to my heart, Palantir, does drop into 24. Well, it's still there. I mean, that was a big move in, and then someone said, did anybody get that back here? When I looked at it, it was already at the 20 level. So there's another buy into 24. We had this yesterday. It was a monster trade. We could have had it again there today, and I think it's probably worth it. I mean, if the market's not going to do much, Palantir down 2%, I think it's just getting faded off of it reaching yesterday these high levels again, 24.70, 25 bucks. Next time we get to 26, we'll have to definitely consider taking something out there, which would be another 10% from here. But yeah, I think this is a buy down here at 24. I mean, here's the 20 period moving average. That little dip down, if you really wanted to put on some shares and, you know, again, it's tough to go long because the market's going down, but I feel like you can risk 10 cents here on this into those wicks. The last time you did that, it was already at this level, 24.35, came right down in about an hour, touched 24, wick down 10 cents, and then blasted up from that 10 cents, 60 cents. So I feel like to risk 4 to 1 or something like that, even if you got out back at VWAP or at 50 period, that would be great as well. So let's put a bid down here at 24. Not like an exorbitant amount of shares, but you know, probably like half of what we would take if this happened earlier on and we had caught that. So we'll put on something again, just because it's tough. And again, we always talk about having confidence and being, you know, convinced of your plays. It's just the market's bleeding down. And we had said that before when we were looking at it. It's like I said, your one Nvidia move down, which is exactly happening. Nvidia's at 23 before this market to move, and that's what's happening. Or your one Apple move up, and then we're the other way. Well, it looks like it decided to go down. So easiest way, I guess, with least resistance to the downside, and then we'll see if we can pick something up, maybe 19 flats. That's the very bottom, 19.25, something like that in there. So right now, you kind of got to let this market float a little bit. We do have Nvidia bids down here. We just got filled at 123. So this was, again, we were very, very patient with it. We talked about this. Now we're in position 123.03. We just got filled there. So average position now 123.08. No, sorry, we got 05s.
There it is. Like wait patiently waiting.
Yeah, trying.
That's a good lyric.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out why AMC is up 2.5%, but in the hunt for things that are kind of moving, we're not really settling down that much. DJT, I want those 36s. It still looks like it might be a 37 play. AMC doesn't really have a red candle since it broke out here.
Wow, okay.
So that looks pretty strong. And, you know, it's got a bit of an upward channel. I like the fact that it might have trapped some shorts in here. So a hold of 460 is looking interesting. I just checked to see if there's a catalyst. Not that there has to be. I don't know. Yeah, there is no specific catalyst that at least I can find. I'll maybe hunt a little bit more, see what's going on with AMC. But because that's a big enough volume spike out of nowhere. Like, you guys can see that candle. Usually I see that there should be something, right? Like, it doesn't do that for no reason whatsoever. And I don't see anything on our radar, but it's still an upward trend. It's broken out from the 450. Would just like to see it hold at 4.6. And DJT, it might be convincing me that 37 might just be it here. So you're getting a bit of a double consolidation. It has to be 2 trades. I wouldn't hold 37 to 36. I think you got to give it a tight stop to that level. 36.6, and then look for the 36 even here on Donald Trump Jr. or Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
John. It's John, right?
I don't know. I'm just focused on making some of this because that's what matters. There it is right there. It's Nvidia. And by the way, this is a 2-minute chart. So we're looking at DJT trying to make these moves. Obviously, it's a completely different priced name and not as active as Nvidia as far as, it's more active as far as percentage moves. But for my money here, little easier to sort of play off of some past levels as DJT is a crazy stock, and I'm glad we're looking at it. But right there, like let's just be real. There's 40 cents right now on Nvidia in 2 minutes. So again, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's in the chat, because we often get nice emails saying like how much they've learned and all of this, and they take profits, and you know they've changed their trading style. And it's just like, there's the quick out for 20 cents, and then there's 30, 40 cents right back out. So it's like you put this money in your pocket. When you lose, sure, you can, you know, get hit, get run over. Trades can go bad at any time. But this is why, take some out. And then we always say, like on the midday show, it's like, oh, if you want, you know, those huge bangers, you got to follow Sean. It has nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. It has to do with making sure that you take your trades, and then we try to teach you about why we're in. I mean, even as Nvidia was coming in, I talked about bidding 123 when the stock was at 123.80. You know, so when it falls back in, this just goes according to plan. It's not, if it happens, great. We're sitting there making that money. Spin it. Now Nvidia, just on this move right here at random 2:40 in the afternoon, goes to your P&L number one. And right there again, we talked about Tesla taking that spot over on one trade. Well, right here, Nvidia on the reload jumps ahead again. So it's like, trade your stock, trade your name. And I mean, it's like why we left Robinhood available. Sure, there's a good trade right now. You could have easily gone long on Robinhood just a couple minutes ago when we were talking about it, and it's worked out fantastic. But we already made our bed down here with Robinhood. You know, this was already the trade. And then we held a little bit for that. So if I just start averaging in, I could give everything back from idea number one there, Robinhood today. You know, if I trade Rivian right now, I could give it all back. But we're not going to do that unless it sets up. And for me right now, the name that set up was Nvidia. Came right back into a level that we love, 123. We talked about that level. And then so the fact that it goes 123.05 all the way up to 123.50, it's like there's 50 cents for you, if that's your style. And again, trade as many shares as you're comfortable with. People are asking, we all four of us trade with, I mean, Sharif and Adair trade with similar shares, I guess, but all four of us basically trade with very different share sizes because there's different opportunities. And I think that's the one thing that you have to understand. A breakout trade would be more shares for some than others. A dip buy might be better. And we don't, although Neil and I listen to what we're each saying and look at the different names together, it's often he may have a completely different idea. I've gone long on a name, and I look over, he's short, and somehow it's right in the middle, and we're both winning, you know. So you gotta.
Usually that's ideal.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think it's ever. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't think there's ever been a situation
maybe even not
at
now,
the
but
same price, different directions. That I don't think has ever happened. It's certainly possible. I've seen that happen on the floor, and the best example of it was months ago. Apple, a 180 break. There was like 80% of the floor was taking the break long, and there were a couple of people that are like, no, it was such a good short, they were just going to stick with the short, and the short ended up winning. And I always feel like, I'm going to get to this super chat in a second. I always feel like if everybody on the floor is thinking the exact same thing at a key level, sometimes it's not that I think it'll work better. It's just usually if it does work, it'll work bigger. Because if every short-term trader is thinking the same thing, if it doesn't work, a lot of times it can be a bad indicator. I know in the past on our trading floor, if everybody was in the same position, this is like over a decade ago in BAC was going the other way, 9 times out of 10. I just want to shout out, I'll give it to Xenon here. Thank you for the super chat. I know you meant confidence because you said conference. The key to confidence is positive expectancy. You don't have to be right every time, but you have to have good reasons for your decisions. That's it. Every trade is just about decision making. It's like poker, right? Like positive expectancy is going to be everything. Now, I don't get 37 here, but look what happened at 38. So 38, here's a pullback, higher low, holds even dollar back through 38. It gives you like a 40 to 50 cent move. It ends up giving it back up. Same kind of setup. Keeps it simple. It holds at 37 level. I kind of thought it might go to 36. Higher low, try to grab 37. It makes that move. It's already gone past 40 to 50 cents in the money. But that's the reason for the trade. If it goes, it goes. If you get the fill, you get the fill. Sometimes when you take it on the way down, you're going to get that fill. And other times, it's going to make more sense to wait for this push into the upside. Because if you just anticipated 38 would do the same thing, maybe you get super rinsed. So I'm not getting into it. But AMC just popped in for me. I just slapped the bid when it held this 63. So it's kind of a similar story. Like, trend to the upside, already breaking out. There you go. Already breaking out over previous resistance. Already dipped once in a previous resistance. Now putting in a higher low above 460. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if there's a catalyst mattering here, but there was that big volume spike. If it can't hold 60, we get out. If it does, I'm looking for a push through the high of the day. GameStop has been running as well, but much like AMC, I don't think there's actually a catalyst on that either. It could just be sympathy, really, why AMC's up.
We will be going to Adara after I show you this, Ramin.
She didn't say Adara.
Okay, good. Then we will not be going to Adara. Then we could just do this. All right, 74.20. I mean, there's the move up for the TQs, right? Right back into past levels. I mean, this is a 40-cent win. Right there for us as we get lighter and lighter. We said we had 20%. Now we have 10% or less than that left now in the triple Qs. So there it is, man. That's a big one. It's 3 times the NASDAQ. So just play it for a little bit of a bigger move if it does come in. And then plus it's just less priced. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't ever look at a stock. Like the amount of capital that I have behind my account, it doesn't matter. Maybe I can't take 30,000 shares of this. I'd have to do the math to find out exactly how many shares I could take. But I would look at these charts the same, the NASDAQ and the Qs, the TQs and the Qs. I just, for me, prefer trading a name that's a little bit lesser priced with this one. So you could also trade SQQ. We don't have any borrowing costs here for SQQ, so we could short it just the same ways, and we could short the TQs the same way. So the SQ would be the inverse of this. We often get that question on why am I trading T when I could trade S. So if I had a retail account, I would probably, with you guys, trade S because it's only $8. So again, it's going to look very, very similar to this. This is triple levered the other way. So you can see here 0.4, 0.1. I mean, again, because it's only an $8 stock, 1 penny is going to reflect so much different up here, but roughly the same relationship back and forth. So as we go, it should be 1/3 either way. So there's another out for that one. We'll wait for it. Losing a little bit of patience with Nvidia because it just keeps on doing this. We got out of a trade yesterday when it was doing this. So let me put a 43. Okay, we wound up punching out there. Some at 43. So we'll get out another piece right now. We only have about 35% or so left of this trade. If I ever get a resistance back to the 50, I'm doing that because this is a short, like the 200's a short because you're down 2%. So I wait for the 200 to break in order for it to reverse sort of fortune. So for me right now, Nvidia is looking like a short. We're just lucky to take that profit in right now, and it came into our level. So today, I was looking at it. Again, we're having a pretty good day today, about 6 to 7 guys positive, which is huge. It's a great day. A lot of names working out for the floor today, and a lot of them are big tech names. So Tesla, Nvidia, big ones. Rivian, Hood was good. We already talked about Tesla there as well. We have one red stock today, and it's Oracle. So we were wrong on this. Oracle was strong. I thought VWAP would hold. Once it didn't, we got out. Could have been reversal there, but again, with no confidence, hard to reverse that. So 140 a level for sure on that. But yeah, good day, good day. Westermeyer's gone. What does that say? Enjoy your vacation?
Yeah, I'm just I'm reading the super chat here from Mr. Westermeyer. Taking just for fun, leaving for a 3-week vacation. Where are you going? Let us know. Just kind of curious always. Enjoy that vacation for sure. You got to take some time off every now and then. In 2 days, you're taking off. Sean and Neil pick one stock each to buy for a swing, 5K shares in each. Well, I don't know if I want to. I don't know. Like, I was looking at the last couple of things that I've bought, and really, like, it's do I still want to be in? Look, the last thing I bought recently was the actual market, so I don't know that even remotely counts. Last swing I did was in Tellurian. I don't want any part of that thing at this particular moment. I'll have to give it some thought. Like just to pick one at random, like my pick of the week was Amazon, but like that just literally broke the high of the day. So like, what are you going to do with that? Like, am I going to endorse buying it at the high now? No, the play was the breakout. So that's already happened. Let me think about that one, Mr. Westermeyer. You let us know where you're going. He's got to hunt for it. Like I feel like I want to say short Kava, but most people when they're asking for swing trades don't want to short. I just feel with that CMG move, Kava could be under some pressure. Oh, sorry. I have a Dell chart up because people have been talking about Dell in this recovery, and I'm looking at this for a possible long. So just hunting for some ideas here as we're thinking out loud. And what's interesting about it for Dell here is this hold of the 50 period, which it's been doing since earnings. Well, it did it again today. Look at this 135. Almost at VWAP, 50 period hold, and then look at it now holding VWAP on a good trend to the upside. So market not really doing anything. There is a stock that's been a mover most of the day, and it's putting in really good higher lows. You had support here in the morning around 138 as well. So I'd like to see this thing break out of this 138 quarter or so. Like get up here, show me that we're not gonna have trouble with like 138.75. Or maybe just give me a VWAP dip where you can go long into 137. But I do like this hold in Dell. I like the higher time frame look. If you just look at it here, it still feels like it's in a downward trend. But when you pull up that daily chart, you see that it's held the 50 period moving average, simple moving average on the daily. I do like that.
I have a trade out. First of all, getting out of Nvidia was a good one there as we, again, there's a little bit of a dump in, so we do get an opportunity to get some more out there. We took advantage of the TQ's move as well. We only have 5% left. We talked about that. And then the other trade that I just want to talk about that I have a play on is going to be Amazon. So if Amazon pulls back to 193, I'm going long. I'm going long down here, 193. It's already in, so let's see if that hits. Just as luck. Just as good as we were to pick Nvidia bottom right there. Let's see if we can try it on Amazon again. So we already talked about being nervous and why we wanted to get out of Nvidia because of the sort of the trend of the name. It's down. It's down 2.3% right now. So to hold longs in a market that's doing this is not advised. So again, great. I mean, we always talk about saving money. This is saving that. Like we just got out there. We had 20%, we got it 15%. We told you we had 5% left right there. So now that this comes back in, I'm not gonna reload it. Things are different. So we'll wait to see where we get out of this play. We only have that 5% left. My stop on this already was 65. So again, that is an 80 fill, 15 cents worth of risk to take at the top 55 cents. So worth it. Let's get out if it breaks that. Those were the levels that we're in. A break of 80, we're out. So 73, 79, out of 100%, whatever. We'll pay fees at the end of the day on that one. We are not reloading Nvidia. So there's Nvidia, nice move down. Really glad that we were able to take some out. And you have to, before the flush, get some out. There's some size there. If you think that's a lot, then you will be mistaken. I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth.
It wasn't even there when I looked over again.
Yeah, it was a couple 100,000 shares.
Oh, yeah.
We've already said Nvidia's volume is severely dying down, and it is. It's still at 271 million, though. So when you're going to see little imbalance details and things like that hit, I mean, until we see tens of millions of shares on an imbalance locator, I'm not going to be too worried about that. We still do have the power hour coming up right away as well. So power hour could be coming in here for Nvidia. We'll see what happens very, very soon for that name. We're still long. We want to get more long if it comes back down into this level of 122.50. So that's the level there. You could have bought that dip potentially if you wanted to. We did not. But other than that, yeah, man, same old over here. Just looking for better opportunities. And that Nvidia, so far, so good. I don't really want to get into Robinhood, maybe buying Oracle on dips, but at the end of the day, we just want to buy strong names. So my main idea, and if the market turns around, it's not coming through. Ooh, Nvidia's coming in, Amazon's coming in a little bit more than I thought.
Oracle was doing so good.
I'm going to, yeah, Oracle, yeah, I like Oracle. Oracle's, again, that's a big name for myself as well. We bought that at 107, good little recovery, back up to 140 there. All right, new position alert. We have one red name today, and it's Oracle. We'll buy some Amazon here at 35s, or what price did we get? Here, I'll just check my own blotter. 39s. 39s. We're long at 39 on Amazon. It's at 44s. Let's see if we can get something out around 194. That's where the 50 period is. We always say a nice recovery up to there would be real nice. So let's see if we get something back up, and then we'll wait for our 193 flat. That was always going to be the trade. I just thought when I flipped over to it, it would have been way up. So we'll take about 10% of the shares we want down here at 193. So get ready for a dramatic price change if we get filled down there at 193. And then probably 192. I mean, we got to give this one at least a quarter, right? You got to give this at least 30 or 40 cents, Amazon. So probably 192.50s, 192.75s, something like that for an out on Amazon. So that's what we're looking for. Hopefully we get that pullback into 193.
Yeah, my Oracle chart's lying to me. I have a gap like Oracle halted earlier in the day. That's why if you heard me say what happened to Oracle, it's
yeah, it did not halt.
On my daily, no, it's not a daily chart. On my this P per weight chart at the open, it opens and I have this gap which looks all the world like a halt, but clearly not. Actually, Oracle trending back in. It looks to me like AMC is no longer continuing with GameStop. So you had a consolidation. It might break the consolidation. 4-6 could come out. Probably should have just bucked all logic and gone short wherever the heck AMD was, because AMD just continues to float to the downside. So we're going to have to short the next available pop in AMD, down 2.5% and continuing to flow. Low of the day is incoming here. I'm looking for chip names that might give me a continuation play. Micron, look what it's doing, 142. I guess you only want to deal with VWAP in here. And then the other name I want this to just break down would be ARM trying to break consolidation. I can get rid of these lines. At the time, I was working off a couple of trend lines, but if you remove it and don't hit save, if you're at real trading, when you make an action on your trend lines or on your chart, make sure you hit the save. Otherwise, the next time I come back, those lines will be right there just distracting me. If this can break down through 162, I think you could fall apart a little bit. Not that 62 isn't just a random price. 62 was yesterday's high. 62 was also the high on Friday. So if it loses that, I think you could really start to go on ARM. We did take a long position earlier, but I'm feeling pretty bearish overall if it's not going to hold 162 bucks. So if we can't get AMD, we got to look for ARM to the downside. Well, I'm going to look for ARM to the downside.
All right, we are, did we just get that? Yes, we did. Okay, we are in Amazon. So there he goes. So Amazon just comes in. 193.11 is our current price. So we said that we'd have a dramatic price change when it came down into here. So now we have some Amazon on board here. And again, I'm just going to try to give this, like I was looking at it, and I mean, you know, that's 85. Like I just think like that top was the first fail at 193. We retraced, but this time we retraced to the 50 period. We don't have anything under here like that. So because it's the end of the day, I was just thinking quarters. That's this level right here. There isn't much there, to be honest with you. So I just don't. You know, I like the name. The reason why we like it, we sort of talked about that. It was high today. It made its 52 an all-time high today as well. So, you know, trying to buy strength in dips. But, you know, the market is not cooperating. But again, you can't buy stock long unless you either take breakouts on momentum or you have to fight a move down like this, which is why I tend to sometimes prefer, and we talk about this, trading the futures over names like an Amazon or something like that. So I'm going to use 50 as the out right now. I still think this is strong. Would like to see it sort of absorb some of this move down. It came back into the 200 period moving average. I mean, for me, we hadn't seen this since the open. Could be a sign that we're turning around, and you know, that was the last level of support that broke. But I mean, realistically, this 50 period, I feel like if you were long, you probably out already. Some definite double tops there. That came in at 194.20. Let's just see. We just wicked up to 193.17, and I wasn't even looking at it. So here we go. All right, let's start taking something out now if we can. It's not going to be a big trade, obviously, if we can get up into the 20s and into the teens here for Amazon. Get some out now. I don't want to get some out now. All right, let's cancel that. What am I talking about? We need to get a lot higher than this. Sorry, I thought it was a different price. 193.70 or so would be a decent spot. 193.50 maybe to get something out to start with. But again, decent spot here. 193 and change for Amazon. Feel like we're buying strength here. It's just a weakness in the market not helping out this position.
Yeah, and remember I said FFIE. I wasn't really looking at an indicator. Someone asked me, what's the indicator you're using for FFIE? Well, 45 was the price. 46 was where we were long. It got to 48 even, and then it just broke down underneath 45 where I jumped out of the trade. Now, DJT just pulled back in. I'll finish that. Where DJT pulled back in, I had 37.60. I'm giving it to, it's just underneath the 40 level, a local bottom. But to finish the thought, if FFIE loses this level here, which is like 43, I'm looking short. I did pay for locates this morning and tried to grab that short, but I didn't have them when it was making the move, but I've got them now. If it cannot hold 43 cents, it's a bit of a flat bottom break. The news on FFIE is that they're doing a reverse split, so the catalyst, which is causing this to go up, isn't a positive catalyst. And if it's going to go down, then I'm going to at least short it this time. My initial thought was to short at the top, but I didn't get it. So 43 break will grab. DJT, we just got into this one at 37.60. I just wanted to finish that thought before we got back over to this name. It did just pull up like 15 cents in the money, but I'm looking 38, the even dollar, and then try to hold through the high. Again, just buying the dips on DJT. We did miss this one, but since it broke out late, we got one, we tried to get two, we've now got the third available dip here.
It's just so funny, like we're talking about that, you know, those moves on DJT. Meanwhile, you know, it's just some of these other names right now. I love looking at DJT for sure. But look at Amazon right now. Amazon is 30 cents in the money right now off that dip buy. So again, there's the dip buy into 193. We told you our price would be 193.11. So here it goes right now up in the money. Now 40 cents, 35 cents in as well. We just take a piece out there in the 40s. We did take some out in the 20s here. Again, it's the market rallies. We could still have this, man. We still got on 70% of this trade as there. We put on Nvidia, gave you 50, 60 cents. Here's Amazon. How clean is this trade right there? So fresh and so clean right now. So shout out to Atlanta. Big time movement here again to the upside. This is real trading. I mean, calling out plays. I mean, you guys are here, and Brendan and I talked about this earlier. Forget about everything. It doesn't matter. How much money anybody's making is completely irrelevant. We sat down here. You guys are looking for trades, right? You're looking for all that. Here it is. Here's Amazon. Pullback into 193. We told you we'd be sitting there taking this long. So this is real trading. We take the long right now, and there it is right here. 60 cents in the money for you. In 3 minutes. You know, this is 5 minutes. This is the trade, right? You can stack it up. You're putting money in your pocket. You're going home. You're kissing the baby, and you're doing it all over again. Should be a damn politician. This has been fantastic. There it is, man. Amazon, right away, climbing up. Like I said, the P&L doesn't matter, but it's ridiculous for us to sit here and not tell you that the stocks that we're trading are in there. So right there goes Amazon. Again, another top name off of one damn trade. My best stocks today have been easy ins, easy outs. Here it is, another one. It's Amazon. Hey, let's take something else out. There it is. We'll take out a 72 right there. Spin it one more time for you. It's trading. It's there. It's Amazon. And for me, that was a pretty easy play there as it pushed back into the 200s. And it just goes to what Neil was saying earlier, man. Why? I think it was one of the other names. I think it was Nvidia or something. It was like, go long on strong names, not weak names. And Nvidia has been the weak name.
Ideally.
And so that's why yeah, I mean, we crushed the Nvidia long, but this name was the one that brought me to that idea.
Yeah, support levels, sometimes you're going to buy it low because it's support level. But it's
trade.
inevitable. Like talk about like Disney 100 was an example. Disney 100 held for like a week and a half. So on weekdays, you were only buying it at one spot. So sometimes you do have to buy a weak stock. I usually say that when I'm talking about a trend, but I think the more important thing is just look for like the easy opportunity and go from there, right? So in that same time, DJT, we might have missed one of them. And obviously, it's always the one that you don't get in that's the biggest move. The first move on DJT went clean 50. And then the second move actually went like 70, 80 cents, depending on where you wanted to get out. Maybe you had a dollar. Great for you if you got it underneath that 37. The next higher low we take them out 1-to-1. It's trying to go. But the key thing is it's trending up. It's in play. It's got a catalyst behind it. And we'll go for it on those higher lows. So just try to take your shots in something that makes sense to you. It feels like that's the one to go. AMC didn't. AMC had some higher lows. We went into that 63. It couldn't hold 60. Maybe, look, AMC doesn't necessarily have a catalyst, and if you got it early on that spike, whatever that volume was, I think you needed continuation. A lot of times the first dip after the volume spike is going to be the best one, and then you want to look to see is it still doing volume before. Not really. Like you can see the volume spike and then just nothing. Like there's not even a secondary push in there. Whereas DJT, just for a little bit of a difference, you get that volume spike, and then notice here, it's still doing more volume. I'll make it more obvious here and zoom in the chart. It's doing more volume in this move than it was in the midday, than it was like here at like 11 o'clock. Like see the continuation in volume. That's one of the differences that sometimes you're gonna find. It's not a tried and true, like 100% of the time, hey Neil, you said if it's doing more volume, the breakout's gonna continue. It's not how it works, but if you're choosing between two stocks and they might have a similar setup, higher lows and all that good stuff, pick the one, if it's a low float runner or a squeeze name, pick the one that's doing better relative volume compared to earlier in the day. If we get through 38, trail goes to that top, 38.12, and then we'll see if it can get back into the high. Respect the fact that it's already dropped before here on DJT. You don't want one of those huadunks. As it goes up, I would move a stop, but I'm never gonna be in a stock like this without a stop order. That's very, very important.
All right, another out here on Amazon. I don't know if it's going to move or not. Like we're just watching out for this. So now we only have. Should have remembered how many shares we had there. Probably about 20% left. It's pretty par for the course. I've already said the strategy is if it gets back up to the 50 period, that's the whole move. So buying off support back to the 50, you know, that's the play. We did that also with Nvidia, right? There was the dip buy. We didn't do it again, and we talked about why. We're waiting for lower. But there was the move there as well. 123 back up 50 cents into the 50 period, fade. So we have to take those trades. We don't have a choice. So well, we have a choice. Whatever trades we want to do. Yeah, that's funny when you guys said when Sean buys, he creates support. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it does look like that on Amazon for sure. We stepped in here and bought it up. But again, with the amount of shares that we're using, I mean, 50 million shares, and especially a stock like Nvidia, like Robinhood right off the open, this just takes kind of like, I guess, the word I want to say was balls. I guess you're allowed to say that, right? We could be talking about tennis balls. Right there to take this trade. So that's what it takes. It just takes that. You know, when it's falling down into you, that's a little different story. Taking a trade that you believe in right off the jump is something else. So that's it right there for Robinhood. And then the same thing true of Nvidia. You know, this is really the best trade for me. Like if we just left Nvidia alone, we would be up more than we are now, just paying fees and just doing all these little trades. Some win, some lose. You know, but it's this sort of first trade there that you put on. And the same thing, that's why I told you guys this. 3 ideas on here today: Rivian, Nvidia, CMG, Apple, Hood. So the big ones that are talked about in the middle there is, doesn't matter, Robinhood, Nvidia, Rivian. Go to @TraderTV Sean to find it. Here we have a little graphic that we can hit. It's right here for that one. You can go find it. Anyways, if you look right off the open, Nvidia, boom. You know, that was a big one. Robinhood. Again, these are ideas straight off the open that we write down on the sticky note. You can find it tomorrow. And then also Rivian was right off the jump as well. This was actually tricky. This one actually took some trading and some ability on this one. That one was falling like a rocket. This one fell like a rock, and then you had to have sort of that confidence in that trade. And again, it sold off the open, but we believed in it. So in 10 minutes, tried not to dump it, comes all the way back up, and then there it goes right back into the highs again. We were able to get it out and then putting the damage on the board. So even just after this, Robinhood, now, I mean, Amazon's different, and Nvidia, and then this one trade for Tesla. These are my big trades of the day. And it's too bad that Tesla's still not in the pocket, but we got out there at 195.20s there, as it was the past top, 195.50. So we did pretty good getting out. Let's check back in on Amazon, ho-hum. Nice little 60-cent winner, trying to get it through the 50 period. So no more offers on any of these, just bids right now to get longer, especially Nvidia, 122.50 or so. I saw you just got a reload in water. I'm gonna go get a coffee. I assume you.
Yeah, I gotta thank Yannick for that one. I'd say arguably the most frustrating thing about being on crutches is it's not being able to carry anything. Like, it's a pain in the butt, man. Someone needs to come up with, like, I just want something on my crutch, like I could put something in it, and then if I'm, like, really easy, I'd be able to hold it. But, yeah, thank you to Yannick for that. Like, DJT, we're still in. I've tightened the stop up, which we said we would do when it got to $38. And then AMD continues. It's just like flush, 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 flush. No spikes up. I don't want to chase. Like, so ideally, most trades will look like this on AMD, where you fail yesterday's high, you put in a lower high, you confirm it, you short it, it breaks all the way down. I get out of the trade. Typically, that's how I'm going to Like, I'm going to get out of the trade here, look for reentry, miss it, jump back in there. Ill-advised add. So here's the mistake that I made on this. Like, I added to the position here only to stop out there. Now, I still had shares on from 157.7, so realistically, that's not all bad. But if I don't make that add, I question whether I'm trailing it out, and then maybe I'm still in it when it flushes. You don't know that because hindsight's going to be 20/20, but I like stocks that trend, and that Rivian to me was just a little bit different. You know, like I was dip buying, but like that's an out for me in Rivian. That's an out for me in Rivian. It's hard to see. Maybe if I go to a 1 minute chart, like on a 1 minute chart, you can maybe see a little bit more cleanly. Like it tries to bounce off this level here, 15.5. I get it, stop out. Get it, stop out. Get the bottom. This was the level I liked more. It was in front of 14.5. That's way out in front of 14.5. We like 14.5. Get in a little bit more and then play it back into the upside. So everyone's going to have their own way of doing things. I think it's really important that you just do yours. Do you is the most important thing. So DJT, now it's getting sleepier. This volume, which was good. As I said, it was better volume on DJT than AMC. So holding the higher low. I've already tightened the stop up. I might tighten it to 37.80 if you're just going to go sideways. It's 3:15. We are getting on in the day. The name that's going to be the big play after market, I mean, look, I don't know if it's going to be the biggest mover, but the expected move's like 13% on Micron. I think it should be double digits. Earlier today, I think it was like we just threw a number out and was like, you said 7. I was like, yeah, it's got to do more than that. And I'm saying that on Micron, not because I have no idea what the earnings are going to be, but the way it just pulled back 15% from highs, I'd be a little shocked if it only did a 7% move. So it's a ways away from big, big levels. The trend is working into the downside. Watch out for some imbalances, maybe, but I'm more inclined to think it's going to be back in big cap tech. The imbalances yesterday, it wasn't, like Nvidia was big and Apple was big, but it was Amazon with 6 million sell imbalance. Every single day the last 2 weeks, there's been at least one Magnificent Seven name with a gigantic imbalance. So I think those are the names that I want to have up going into 350. It'll be the Amazons, the Apples, the Nvidias of the world, maybe Google because Google had such a strong day. Maybe it's Google's turn to have a gigantic imbalance. And if you can react quick enough, sometimes there's a trade in there for you. So we'll be watching for those. And they were big sell imbalances, just for anyone that's curious.
Okay, I was going to start making some notes up here. All right, so out of TQs, I was just going to try to look at this again. I just don't know if I don't really want to go long anything other than what we already have on. We already have on this name here, Amazon, which is almost now $1 in the money. Like, is this really what's happening right now for us? There goes Amazon. We talked about trade the best names, trade the strongest names, and there it is. We should be getting something out right here. Oopsies, I don't want to set my last order to be that. All right, I guess we can cancel. It's too bad we didn't get more long down there. We actually have some bids at 190, 260s there. We did not get those as it went all the way down to 192.80. Oh, man, that's too bad. We were close to getting that fill. Well, we were close right there, but we'll just go props up to anybody that has this one. And, man, we are just like, I mean, this is like just chill mode right now. We're going to be at the highest spot we've been at all day, easily right now. We have the winner in Amazon, which is just put 80 cents on the board right there. And like I said, it'll be another top P&L name off one trade. So, again, just pretty happy with that one. Hood right there. Nvidia, 7. Look at, oh, my gosh. It's a good thing we're looking at Nvidia right now, boys and girls, because there it is right now. And that's a 75-cent winner right there on Nvidia as it goes all the way back up to the top. How easy are these trades this afternoon? It's just we should have just reloaded them. That's all. We have it there. Came in once, twice, 3 times right there. in a name, again, that you know we love, and that is Nvidia, and then the Amazon one was pretty easy. Oracle, though, wow, okay. We were wrong on this, and again, just to be able to, so just so you know, what we lost on Oracle is about a third of what we just made on Amazon. So just to give you an idea of like risk management and what's happening, we get out there and we don't have to worry about it. And there's the big, huge flush. Like the reason why I went long is that this name was up a lot, up 1.5% or so when the market was basically flat. And now the market crashes back into 138 and change. Is Oracle a buy down here? Last time we sort of wicked down, I don't know if that was real or not, but that is a 138 or so bottom. I think you could go long here against 137.50. Maybe that's something that we would do. It is already a nice bounce off 38 already. So far, so good for anybody looking at Oracle.
They have that TikTok headwind. I mean, it's not a 100% headwind. It's a potential headwind for them. It's just like there was an article stating that by estimates, maybe worth 5 to 12% of their yearly revenue could be coming from TikTok and housing their cloud data. And if that goes, it's going to be a significant hit. That was an estimate. I don't remember the analyst. It was an article on CNBC, and they had a pretty solid justification for how they're coming with the numbers, and it's a wide range, but that's not a small chunk. 5 to 15%, anywhere near double digits of revenue on the year is a big deal. I'll get to Apple in a second. We just bought that in front of VWAP, but DJT, I left the stop at break even, and it came right back into break even. So I'm out again, and I'm not gonna hold that one if it pulls all the way back into VWAP. There's still some time for another dip and rip, maybe, but it is 320, so it's gonna have to do something soon. Apple just pulled into VWAP, got a bounce here at 213.10, then little consolidation in front of the quarters, grabbed along in front of the 30 level. Would like to add a little tighter to these quarters here, but this is once, twice. The third time it's trying to bounce off this level. VWAP is just a line, but it's been about 213.25 that held locally, and then in the morning it was 213 even. So Apple up still 2%, but it is starting to move into the downside here. About 10 minutes till we get early look imbalances. If I see an imbalance on Apple to the sell side and somehow I'm still in the long, I would be dumping the you-know-what out of it. But we got plenty of time to the imbalances. The fear would be that they come out sell like they did before, which was the last couple of days on Apple, Amazon, Nvidia.
All right, so we're in a new position. It's the only name that we're red on right now, and we just talked about Oracle. So we'll go long. We're long here at 22s, trying to give this 20 cents to the bottom of 138. We'll just get out if it breaks 138. Here in the pre-market, we went down into that level, 138.15. So actually not even, I guess that is the pre-market, 926. So there must have been a sell imbalance or so that came through on Oracle that shot this thing down, and then right when we opened up, that's when we got going on ORCL. So again, follow the yellow brick road if you want, and we will go long on Oracle. You're welcome, Y Brothers United. I mean, that's why we're here. He says, thank you for Nvidia. You're welcome. And I hope that some of you also made money, on Amazon. So that was good, man. So far this afternoon, it's been a darn good day. All right, 196.50 still for Tesla. Thank you for the super chat. What's up to Justin up here? We will hit like on that one and then have a quick look. Look, I've already talked about Micron here, so let me just go over to it real quick again. So I think for my money right now, and the question is this, I've been shorting Micron since 150. Congratulations, I love that play. Does it continue to fall through earnings? I mean, to predict what earnings are going to be is a fool's game, but at the end of the day, I'm going to say, like, just looking at this chart, again, okay, Oracle. I mean, is Oracle trying to give us no losing stocks today? We'll take it if it's possible. Okay, but just looking at the daily chart right here for Micron, yeah, like, I think we break this 135. To me, that's a level there. We talked about the implied move and the interest in this name. Nvidia now joining the dollar club. So what's up to Y Brothers United right there again. We've just put a couple dollars in our pockets, hopefully, and in yours over this afternoon sesh. But look, 14% move brings it down to 125. To me, it's just we hit that 150 and we faded off of it. We're already at all-time highs. But I just think it's worth sitting out. and not being a part of it. But, you know, that 160 could easily get broken and then we're gone. So they're just starting to turn profitability right now. The chip space is so hot. You've seen ARM. There's many reasons for this name to go both ways. So I would just say, really, I don't have much of an opinion on this name, to be honest with you. I don't, we've looked at Tesla. I've called Tesla long for the last 2 or 3 weeks. You know, Micron's just not really giving me any ideas. I'd rather it be down here into earnings, like 130. If it was down to 130, then I wouldn't have a problem. If we can look at this chart, Ramin, in a second here. If we can get down to this 130, 125 area, like if that's where we were, and sort of the expectations are already drawn out of this thing, then I could see a much cleaner beat. But right now, you're still at the highs and just hovering around. So, you know, I'm not, it's like when WWDC hit for Apple. You know, it hit for Apple at the right time. Apple was down, depressed move, got hit, was just trying to break out through that 200, and then they got the news to the breakout. So when I look at Micron, it's just the other way around. It's like it already broke. If you look at a daily chart, it already broke through this level and then stopped up here. So I'd rather it be here to call the long. So yeah, I think it's a long, but it's not a long until 130, 134-ish. That's the level that I like, and you can see that tonight with Neil on the recap show.
I'm kind of hoping for a deeper dip on Micron. I mean, hoping is the wrong, no, it's the right word. Yeah, like I want like in between 125 and 130 on that stock. Just because it's held so well. And there was a question in the chat, do you think Micron earnings will affect Nvidia? I don't necessarily think so. They're not really in the same business. The chips loosely follow each other, but I don't think it's a tried and tested rule. You're at a point where AMD and Nvidia don't even move together, so why should Micron be that big of an influence on them? How they move, we'll see what happens with, like Intel hasn't done anything the last couple of weeks. So I suspect that Intel's probably going to move tomorrow. It's done absolutely nothing. I think this could be something, especially if it's bad for Micron, then Intel might finally do what nobody wants to have happen, which is lose this support, which has been so good, at like $30 in here. That gets pretty nasty. FFIE just broke down underneath 43, so I did get that short. But yeah, if Intel can't hold on to it came back up through 43. 43, that resistance to support level. But if Micron can't hold on to the bid and Intel loses $29.75, I'm already looking for a $25 buy on Intel. I was doing that before Micron even happened. So I'll be on that bid, stink bidding, if we have a bad day on Micron. Although I'll have to do it after the earnings because I'll be live on the show.
All right. I'm just writing a tweet here about Nvidia, because I just think it's important to learn. And we talk about learning from past mistakes. I mean, first of all, right now, this is now a slapper. This has turned out to be, we're out. So there it is, 124.50. There's a $1.50 out of Nvidia right now. So, I mean, there it is. You know, I mean, so pretty good opportunity there. Hopefully some of you are able to take that. Nvidia now is my #1 stock. So we'll shout out to Brendan there. We don't see enough of him anymore. All right, so there goes Nvidia. We're out of that one. And I was just simply writing down, I mean, you can see what I'm writing here if you want to. After getting hit yesterday on the Nvidia short, we flipped a script here today. And we talked about it here, Nvidia Investor Day. We just need to find a long. We wrote this at 8:30, but earlier than that. You know, so there it is. Also Rivian, also Apple. You know, everything's right here, posted up early. Make sure you go find it. And we just got a bunch of followers too. I'll show you why in a couple minutes there. Trying to get to 50,000. So go over, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and everything. But yeah, just about learning lessons. And yeah, so we've done that again and have that ability to be able to have confidence of coming back the very next day and doing the same stuff. I got to give a big shout out to Joe in the back there. You know, he talks and he said it because yesterday I told him, I says, man, I got like, you know, we didn't lose a swimming pool. I had swimming pool on my mind because pool yesterday got hit and the whirlpool is up today. So we lose, you know, we lose more than anybody yesterday on Nvidia, you know, but come back today and then flip the script on that. So that's perfect. We take the long. There's Nvidia. It's a huge move to the upside. I just hope that everyone's enjoying the show and been able to take some of these lessons. And then why not? I don't even think I have a Freedom and Wealth thing. Yeah, that's that podcast. But Freedom and Wealth podcast talks about these things, confidence. And we had Kevin O'Leary on yesterday. And the one thing that I took away from him, and thanks, Brendan, for asking this question to me in the podcast, was what did we learn? I know I don't have the right one, I said. Thank you, Ramin. I know. That's why I don't want to keep hitting it.
Yeah, because
I'm just saying, we have it on board there.
It'd be cool if it keyed on things you said.
Yeah, she could just hit it or I could hit it, but I'll just get the new digits for that one. Ramin, send me your digits. I mean, send me those digits. Yeah, right.
Nice try, Ramin.
Nice try.
She just said she doesn't have a phone.
Yeah. You just want to give me the proper phone, How many, we have burner phones, By the way, where is my burner?
Never had a burner.
Okay, so as we go, anyways, thanks for watching. But the main idea here that we're trying to get to is that we have to throw to Adara.
Take a look at some of these names on the S&P 500 making some larger outsized moves. There are some interesting ones here, including Moderna down more than 10%. If you look at that daily candle, certainly can see the drop here. Earlier today, we had some news that their RSV vaccine showed 50% efficacy, so not a great look for our mRNA to start the day. Then another piece of negative news coming in early today around 3 o'clock. CDC advisors, Center for Disease Control advisors, ended up not voting on whether or not to recommend this RSV vaccine for adults aged 50 to 59. So a couple blows related to their RSV vaccine for mRNA. Next up, we have GIS. This was actually an earnings name from this morning, down about 4%. They're recovering a little bit from the lows. They beat on adjusted EPS, but they did miss on sales, and they also are forecasting basically flat growth for full year 2025, so not a great look there for GIS. Last but not least, we actually have a move to the upside here. That's going to be Campbell's Soup, CPB. This one up over 2% after getting an upgrade to overweight from JP Morgan with a $52 price target.
Thank you very much there, Adara. Just wanted to leave a bigger note, just making some notes for the aftermarket show there. So we're going to come back to FFIE. We got wicked out of it. One thing to remember when you're trading a stock and trying to make a push to the downside, you've got to be able to get a fill. So obviously, when it broke 43, I left my order and I like to try to get picked up. If I don't get a breakdown at 43, I want to try to get picked up on the way back into the other side. So it went 43, like down into 40. If you get filled, great. I leave my order in to try to grab it on the way back up. It does this little wick, which doesn't get me out. It does this wick, which does. But then again, right back through 43, I'm punching the bid. Sometimes you get a fill, sometimes you don't. I don't know. This is not SSR, but we're still trying to grab it at that 43 level. So unfortunately for FFIE, it did give us the move we want. But just because you throw an order and cross doesn't mean you're going to get it when you have a stop breakdown. Usually on a stock which is doing like 50 million or 100 million, in this particular case, I said this morning it was going to do $1 billion. It'll only do 600 million shares. Liquidity is going to be pretty good. But when it lost that 43 these two times, there hasn't been much on the bid if you've been trying to get it tight. And my stop order was 99s or 999 to try to get 88. So it's only like a tenth of a cent that I'm crossing each time. So it's relatively tight. If you cross like a half cent, you probably get the fill. But the way that it's moving, that was a 2 cent move. I'm looking for about 1.5 to 2 cents on it. So I'm trying to get it in that first tight move off 43. And then the risk on that trade was about like 4.4, 0.5 the first time through. We try to get it the second time. We don't, unfortunately. So it'll go down now, but I'm not going to chase it. Kind of want it where I want it, and that's going to be the play on Faraday. DJT starting to go again. Like I said, I got out of that one, put in a higher low. We're getting a little bit late on in the day here. So it's still continuing to run higher. I still believe on Thursday, check that tomorrow, or after tomorrow, I should say. That'll be on Friday. It'll be on Friday. I'm still thinking to sell the event on Thursday or Friday, but I still think Thursday can be an up day for DJT. Want to favor the long, at least until they have that debate. It's been pretty good the last couple of days. If you look at it late in the day yesterday, then you look at it pretty much all day today. This has been a big-time runner. If it does anything similar to that, you should find multiple longs. I didn't try it till it was already breaking tops. I think that's a mistake. You really want these when they're at VWAP or breaking the morning high. Like, look at that morning high break. If you're looking at DJT, you're laughing. If you're not looking at DJT, You just have to join wherever you happen to. And that's all you can ever do. Like, look for that next opportunity wherever it lies. You don't know where it's going to be. So just try to be scanning the stocks that are on your list or volume movers, whatever works for you. But missed opportunity here in Donald Trump's only stock. I'm not saying I'm going to punch short automatically on Friday, but I am paying for locates. And if it's at $40, I think I will have something on.
Yeah, all right, it's only 3:30 right here. Let's just do a rundown. Shout out to Max, shout out to Mark, shout out to Branko, shout out to Adara, shout out to Sharif, shout out to Patrick there today. So it's a big day here in the office, so shout out to some of those traders in there behind us. We always talk about those of us that are in the chat. Why not give it up to the guys and girls in there behind us trading as well. So, and here's the chat right here. Tesla recovery for me, woohoo. Now we get over 200. Yeah, man, I mean, Chef Joe, you know, first of all, you know, steaks is first thing. Second thing right here, yeah, this is a monster trade. I wish we were still in it. Tesla, again, a big stock for us today. Big stock. Oh, you know what just went into a dollar club? So far today, 2 trades this afternoon, both dollar clubs. Amazon, dollar. It's a dollar, right here, dollar, right? 194, 193. Dollar club right there, that's a dollar club. Nvidia, we give ourselves short. This is $1.40. 2 trades this afternoon. You know, both good ones right there. Oh yeah, and the TQs, by the way. That didn't do much, but we did talk about getting out, and that was pretty good out before we got out for flat. Now it's battling back right there, so that would have been a trade for sure, if you guys had it. But there goes. Now let's see what happens with Oracle. This is the other, back-to-back 20-cent wins, not dollar clubs. We're going to wait to see what happens with Oracle now. If we're lucky enough to get to 138.50, let's do it, you know? And again, it just goes back to what we talk about. And I said this over and over again. Hopefully we're here for education, entertainment, and to make some money. So I hope I can accomplish all of those things. And entertainment part, probably not, but hopefully everything else is true there. So if you're liking the show, put those ones up in the chat. Thank you so much for all the talk. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Scan that code for Real Trading. It's where I started. It's where we all started. Come through again and you know, be part of the team here at Real Trading. So I just hope you guys are having an absolutely bang up of a day. We keep shouting out Max. I feel like he's taking the opportunity that which I could have done. Well, we're at the highest part all day. He's out of here. Max made that money early like we did, and he gone right now. So I feel like that's what we're trying to do. My 3 biggest trades today were all off the open, and they were all on ideas that we posted for free on the sticky note. That's the whole point of Trader TV Live. Get educated, have a good time, and understand that you too can beat the odds, you know, and able to make a little bit of money here. So today's a big day.
And that's the key.
We'll try to have no red stocks today.
Beat the odds is 100% true because, you know, whether you have, and everyone's style is going to be different. You know, at the end of the day, just try to do what works for you. When you say beat the odds, most traders are going to fail. And that's just the reality. Most traders are going to fail. And there's a host of reasons why it can happen. But the idea being here is learn from the mistakes, learn from the successes. All of that is incredibly valuable. I don't care. Like I probably learned just as much from other traders in terms of things that didn't work for them as the things that did work for them. And I think if you find what works and is consistent for you, then over time you can have positive months, positive days, positive quarters, positive years. All of that is good stuff. So we got about Be Free. Real Trading is a rebrand, right? So it's Real Trading is, I know it was a previous company, but it doesn't really matter. It's basically the same story as we speak. We're still trading on a prop floor here. And when you're trading with the firm's capital, there is a certain sense of you don't have to have as much internal discipline because you do have a risk manager when you're on a trading floor. You do have a stop loss. When you're trading by yourself with your own personal account, you got to be your own stop loss. And that's why it's important. Like when we say things like don't lose more, you know, if you can make X in a day, just try not to lose more than that or something like that. Or before you get in a trade, think about where you want to get out. because you're not going to have somebody yelling at you if you're getting absolutely destroyed, which will happen sometimes on the floor, maybe not that often, but yeah, you want to have that internal discipline. It's an advantage to being able to trade, and I've been only trading on a prop floor, so I've never been in a situation where I didn't have like a daily stop loss or like a maximum, not maximum share limit, but you have only a certain amount of buying power. All that kind of stuff we have here on our floor, and we're just trying to give you that experience. DJT doesn't want to break that high of the day. We're out of it. And like I said, learn from not just successes, but also maybe mistakes. Like I didn't go back into the last dip. We took almost every single dip that's set up after it broke that high, because that's when I didn't start looking at it till it broke the high. And that was this high in here at 37. So we took this dip. We tried this dip. We didn't actually get a fill. We got that dip. We didn't take the last one. And then that ends up being the best one. So it's a bit of a mistake, I'd say, to have gotten away from it. It is 340, so we're running out of time here. DJT is a monster runner. I think he got at least one more day of it. And then all what could break loose in the other direction, in my opinion. But we'll see.
All right. Nvidia just reclaimed 3 trillion apparently, so that's good. It's reclaimed spot number 1 for me here. We'll continue to watch Nvidia. I'm just kind of sad that, I'm not sad, I'm happy to be taking time off, but and also happy to have Obi filling in for me over the next couple of days. I'm here tomorrow, but then not Friday and not all of next week, so he'll be over here. All right, Nvidia 3 trillion and not million. Let's check out Coinbase today, as we didn't look too much at anything here. We saw HUD 8 was moving around. I shut it out, Patrick over there. I know he was looking at Mara, so there are some different things to look at here today for sure. What is this bottom right there, 212 and change coming out. So yeah, I mean, Coinbase, I'd like to trade it if it was in and around some of these levels. So 222, doesn't look like that's coming through. Well, it's too late now, it's 340. I just wanted to check in on what it was doing. Down 4% there today, so that's not great, as Bitcoin is losing it got to 62.5, I think, today. It's losing it right now. Let's just check out on HUD 8. This was a big runner yesterday, up 5, so that's holding. Are the miners holding as well? Let's check what Mara's doing. 1950 seems like it's a positive day, yes, but has scaled back in quite dramatically here in this afternoon for Mara. So again, a great name. Like I would say that trading Mara is very similar to many as it is trading Palantir for myself. So if you're on this name, I'm pretty sure you're profitable. It's a great name to trade. Lots of movements, just I don't trade it enough. So Mara, I'll leave that one alone for now. Amazon just ho-hummed us in $1.50 in the money right there. Let's hold that one. And Oracle's still trying to hold out highs as well. So hopefully we'll go 3 for 3 here in the afternoon, but again, it's been a good day. Let's just see if we can keep the good vibes going here into the close. Yeah, Ponzi, don't worry. We'll be back after that, and we're not going anywhere. The show does move on, so
it goes on every day.
On and on and on and on.
The only time it won't be on is next. Is it Thursday's a holiday? Thursday's a holiday, right? July 4th. July 4th, next Thursday, and then the Wednesday's like a half day, which I feel like they didn't always do, but it is a half day in the market. We'll still be on for that entirety of the day. So Wednesday, it's just the 1 o'clock on Wednesday, the overall market, and we'll see what happens.
That's right.
I think a lot of times on a half day, the morning is like exceptionally good for early moves, because a lot of people, like, you put in the trades, the B team puts in the trades on the floor, and I'm talking about the actual floor, like NYSE and all that kind of stuff. And then, volume will die down. So you want that first mover going into, it's not a long weekend, but a couple of days off. The early look imbalances, nothing in here, with the exception of Snowflake is 1.1 million to sell. It's about the only one of interest. But remember, the last few sessions, you've seen Amazon. Yesterday was the biggest one, but the day before that, Nvidia was over 5 million of an imbalance. I think a couple of days before that, it was Apple's turn, and it was a few million shares to the sell side. So I'll be looking at Apple, Nvidia, and Amazon for an imbalance play. Snowflake was huge. I don't really know why. I think in the midday they were talking about this one. I didn't catch them mentioning a catalyst, but 3.5%, that's with a pullback of $2. Snow might be catching a bottom here. It was asked for a potential swing, and I was sort of looking at stocks while we were doing this. It would have to break out you would probably have to break out 135, like break out a 135 and then just stop it underneath 120. Gives you about 10% risk on Snowflake, but you know, like that's something where I'd have to see it make the bottom, then break the top. And it's making the bottom, but it hasn't broken the top yet. So a bit of a depressed name, which is catching a level here. And any breakout could get to the 50 period. You know, that's an easy, $10 to $15 move in there. Take a little something out, and if it can get back to the 160s, you can hold for a bit of the dream. But Snowflake, having a good start to today. If it can break 35, I do like that setup. But that's not going to happen. It's definitely not happening today. It might not even happen tomorrow. It might just be a play for next week or in the near future on Snow.
Yeah, I love. We've been buying some Snowflake there. So
you own Snowflake?
Yeah. We bought some at 150, and then we talked about buying some at 126 or so, but it went down to 122. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that one alone. That's a very, very long.
If you pull I didn't pull the daily chart back far enough to show you like the levels in here. It's because if we come to the chart quickly, Remain. Yeah, I just wanted to give I was only showing you like recently where the bottom was. There's all kinds of buying in this stock when it gets underneath 135 bucks, like 120 triple bottom, then 130, lots of buying in here at 135. This is about the area where you'd look for a long. I know it looks out in the ether like, why do you like 120 bucks? This thing's at fresh lows. No, it's because it was this triple bottom from 2022. So I like where it's bouncing from. Just want to make sure everyone got that idea. If it's a falling knife, there better be a reason for liking that bottom, in my opinion. So it is those levels from 2022.
All right, look at Nvidia, just still going. I mean, we were long. We put this on for everybody down there at 123. So there it is, 123, now $2 in the money. We're not in it. Our best out was right there. We talked about getting out at 50 again. That was kind of like back into some of these highs. We could have waited for 125. We'll take it out at 50 and be very, very happy with it. Miss A?
Be aware of DJT here, Trump Media and Technology Group. This one currently up about 7.5%, new day's highs and increasing in volumes. Just be aware. DJT not seeing any news, but tons of social media attention for this one as we head into the close, guys.
Yeah, that's about it. Like we already said, like the news presumably here is that everybody's eyeballs are going to be in one place tomorrow night. Well, at least not everybody, but at least most people's eyeballs are going to be watching the debate, and a huge catalyst for a stock that ultimately is more of a meme squeeze-ish type name. And why I've said if it's on Thursday, Friday, well, after Thursday and on Friday, if it's still trying to test this 40 to 42, that's the area. It's right in the spot where you look for a curl. So if it ends up being a sell the news event, well, it's at the price where I think you could take a shot. If it breaks it out, it's got like $10 until there were sells before. And that is a major, major resistance at 54, 55. So I'd put that one. If somehow it does a $10 move tomorrow or a $15 move tomorrow, then you still have that monster 55 level. Only 3 minutes to go to the imbalances. I'm expecting one of those big cap names is going to come out a big sell again. We're going to have those three up. If you're fast enough and I see a big sell imbalance, I'll look for a punch short. Apple, Amazon, Nvidia were the three that did it last time.
Yeah, waiting. I'm asking the wife, do we have anything to do tonight? Like, I don't know.
You got something to do.
I know, but I know we have a game tomorrow. I don't think we have anything to do tonight, which is pretty amazing.
Dollar says you do.
I don't know. Like, I know the kids are going to F45 tonight, so they're going there. They loved it, by the way. My son loved going to F45, and so did my daughter. So I'm really, really proud of them for doing that. Okay, so Oracle I was waiting at 40s again. It looks like we touched 39s or 38s. Just waiting for that imbalance to come out. If Oracle drops below, we're going to get out of this one. Let's see if we can just get a little bit of a pushback up. I mean, if this comes a buy imbalance, then I think I like it. It is very much barcoding. Tonight, I think it's Celsius, it's Micron, it's BlackBerry.
And Levi.
And Levi's, Strauss, a recent IPO as well over the last couple of years. You could watch out for 140, 141 right there for Micron. It's not going to matter. None of these levels are going to matter. So you just want to see what this does for the SMH and for the sector in general. I think, for those of us that are looking for sort of the death of Nvidia, could start tomorrow if Micron misses a lot, right? But I don't know if that's going to happen. Right now, the SMH still holding near highs as well. Its high is 280, back down to 260 there for the semiconductor. All right, what is happening here with Oracle? It's still there. Sorry, I meant Amazon. Amazon. So we only have 10% left. We talked about that. It is coming back in. That 194.50 we should have got out. I didn't know the market was going to turn like this. We are not going to average back into anything whatsoever, and we're going to get out if it breaks 193. So I don't even have a stop on this because we only have 10%. But let's just do it right now. 192.98. A clean break lower, and we'll get out. So that's going to be a good one for us. And there's only now 1 minute left. So, yeah, Snowflake, that was a good one. Oh, Palantir, did that ever come into 20? Okay, just now.
Only right now.
Just now. So I don't have any, I've already canceled my bids, but I was looking for other ideas, and one of them was going to be this name, Palantir, coming into 24. Can't take it now with imbalances. If they come a sell, then it will push it down. But if it does get pushed down and you do like the long for some reason, or you're stuck in the long right now, this 23.90 is something. So I don't know, it kind of stopped right there, fell off of that, bounced off twice off exactly 23.90. So could be a trade there if you are interested in that one. Now with only 30 seconds left though. So a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds, and we'll get those imbalances, and this is what they look like. So I'm not into anything. You already know I have Amazon and Oracle, but we're just gonna wait. This will update in now. We'll wait for it. I guess 13 seconds. Let's just call up Amazon to see what's happening. This is still 40 cents in the money. This could have the big drop if there is a sell again on this one. We'll also look for Nvidia with a potential sell. And here we go, 2 and 1 coming through. So here we go. I always look at the time in sales quickly, so not moving that much. Apple's a buy, Snowflake's a sell. There were a lot of traders obviously looking at Snowflake, and I didn't even know where that came from. 131, nice move down for Snowflake right there on that sell imbalance, but really not moving actually. There's Nvidia.
That's kind of small though.
Ooh, yeah, very, very small. I mean, it's done 300 million shares. Too bad. So this would have been the one to hold. We got out of it, 124.50. Great trade. Y Brothers and everybody out there that took it, man, congratulations to you for that. And again, it'll be my number one P&L name. So Nvidia, my number one P&L name today, was my number one P&L loser yesterday. So, you know, nice little battle back on that one. And I thought Celsius was reporting, but maybe not. I can look up. No.
Oh, it's okay. It is not.
It is not.
Tis not. That's okay. We'll have we got Chris Breter coming through on the aftermarket show. He's got some things to talk about. Especially, actually, he has
August 6th.
I don't want to spoil it, but he had a trade. He had a trade on Nvidia, which is the other direction, which is interesting going into that shareholder event. So we'll talk a little about that. Celsius, he said, was August.
August 6th. That's not even close.
Oh yeah, that's man. Time. Close. You say that's not even close, but August 6th. Like, that's not that far away. Yeah, that's not that far away. Time really does fly, especially in the summer. I was just looking to see, look, Apple has had this thing where it'll be a buy imbalance and then it'll flip in the first minute or two, but as you can see, it's still 1 million to the buy side. So there was no sell imbalance to punch short on any of those names. I mean, Nvidia, Amazon's not even on the board, so I scanned far enough down that if it was significant, it would be at least 500,000. There's nothing doing on Amazon. Snowflake in that sell imbalance, it doesn't even move. So, you know, I've never really seen Snowflake what does on an imbalance. That's like a 30-cent move on Snowflake, but the thing just dropped $2 in the afternoon. So I'm going to say it was a nothing burger. And I'll just use that for the next time I see an imbalance on Snowflake. It's going to need to be more than 1 million. Otherwise, you don't care. It's done 7 million shares, a 1 million imbalance moved at 30 cents when it moved $2 in the afternoon. So no big play available in Amazon. Yesterday, this thing absolutely tanked at the close. Like, if you wonder why we were looking for it, like this is what happened at 350 on Amazon yesterday. It was trading at $187. Sell and bounce came in. It dropped $1.50 right quick. So anytime I see that happen, on the off chance it happens the next day, I just want to be ready for that stock. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. In a couple of minutes, I'll get up to the desk. I'll mosey on very slowly and get set up for the aftermarket show there. Got some notes, locked and loaded. I want to talk to Adara specifically about a couple of trades that I was listening to the midday that they were in. So I want to ask her about those. It's always good to review some of the trades. We sit here and we're kind of passively listening to the midday show, but I find like I'll get half of what happened on something. And I won't catch all of it. Like I'll hear just like a little bit of, oh, I see you in the stock, but I don't really get an idea of what the actual trade was or what the in, the out was. AMC making some moves. Jamlocity says, I'll be done. AMC will have to wait for tomorrow. GME will have to wait for tomorrow. Just want to double check. GameStop. Like, look at GameStop. Break 26 already. This is a daily chart. It's got to go. Got to go. AMC, I took the one shot in, but it's a similar story. There's not a lot happening on AMC. We went for the break. Now it wants to go, but I was long 63. It's at 67. So, yeah, that's not much for AMC. You'd like to see this get back to $5. The days of AMC going 10%, 20%, DJT is the one right now. It's just not AMC anymore. Hate to say it, Apes.
Yeah, AMC is.
I mean, it hasn't been for a while.
I mean, we don't give nicknames around here, but to me, that should be the dead one. AMC. I mean, it's not doing anything for a long time. Look, I just retweeted. I want to say thanks to everybody out here. You know, Brian Shannon yesterday, what a guy. We talked about Rivian support and to sell Rivian off open. That saved you 25% if you took that advice. We talked about CMG. We talked about PanW. We talked about Tesla, Cargill, everything yesterday. I want to thank Brian for this. I mean, again, I'm learning from Neil, man. I never make notes into the afternoon show. I think I should do that for the market recap show. Step it up, but I'm really glad that Neil's been able to step in there and we're splitting that role.
I'm old. I forget stuff.
Yeah, I know.
If I have a thought that I'm like, this is kind of good,
I've noticed that about you. Okay, but Brian Shannon, thank you so much again, man. This guy is very, very classic, and we love this guy. Brian Shannon, thank you so much for being an important part. And I just said, look, man, this makes our job easy when we can call on such great friends like Brian. So thank you so much for that one. And he nailed Ethereum and all of that, as of course Neil and I kid. But you watch your kids grow up, and that to me means everything. So all right, here we go. Oracle starting to go one more time here for us. 138.37. If we can get another fill right here, let's do that one. It'll be pretty much a day to remember over here. Thank you, Fabian, for picking up that one. Amazon still 70 cents in the money. We're doing it again. There goes Oracle. There's another fill for us. So far here this afternoon, Oracle dip by check. Neil talking about DJT. That was a good one. We had Westermeyer and all that taking money on that. So that's good. We had Amazon. I mean, let's go. Amazon, fantastic. And then that long was 193. It goes to 194.50. And then the other trade that we gave you here this afternoon, is just Nvidia, which right now, if I was still in it, $1, $2, $3 as Nvidia takes out 126. And we had just bought this one at 230 down here at 123. So yeah. Great opportunity here. Let's take this dollar out right now on Amazon and end that trade as Oracle still Moon City right here right now. So, all right. Where's Amazon? Here's Amazon. We'll take a piece out. Neil's going to get over there, so have a good one.
It'll take a second.
Yeah, it's okay. Micron's doing its damn thing. Okay, there. We take a little bit out there on Amazon at 194. I like a lot. And here goes Oracle, man. This name is starting to fly. We're just having ourselves a day here. So I don't know what else to tell everybody other than this is what's happening, and we'll fire off the hot dog gun again. I don't think Kyle Burdett's here. He loves that hot dog cannon, and there it is for you, another one. So back to back to back, and we finish at our highs of the day here. It's Oracle. We get back revenge on this name. So again, boom, boom, nice move upside for Oracle with only a couple minutes left. I just again want to say thank you to everybody for watching, and it's been a fun day here today. Tesla, beautiful. Nvidia, still that buy. I mean, look at the volume candles. Chef Joe, he probably got lots of trading opportunities there today, man. That is how we roll. Big shout out. Hey, you know what we don't do enough on this show? We actually, where's the roll call button? We gave this, there it is, let's go. So roll call is something that we started on the market recap show. We've been doing it on this show for a while. We used to do it at the end of the show. Let's do it again right now to say what's up to everybody that's here in the chat as we watch Nvidia just moon right here up to 126.20. There goes Nvidia. We're 70 cents in the money on Amazon. We're 50 cents in the money on Oracle. And let's start saying hi to some people. Hey, Adara, what's up? Adara's in the chat now. We like that. Shout out to Joseph, Samit, Joseph again. Art L is here. Rob EV is here. Darwin is up in the building. Uh-oh, here we go. They're all filling out now. Medical marinara sauce. Ooh, I like that. Get those medical marinaras back in right now. What's up to Rob EV? Yes, Nvidia is on its way to 150. You are correct. All right. Hey, Maurizio's here. What's up, Maurizio? I have a great friend named Maurizio as well, and he is Argentina. So shout out to Argentina. Yes, sir. Rivian Millionaire is here. Lionel Martinez is here as well. Henry. Adrian, you're always here. Aaron Scott Matthews. Is this real life? That is a good question. Is this real life? Pinch. Ouch. Yes, it is. What's up to Jesse? Roscoe. Ramin is here. Fabian is here. Brendo's here behind us. Silverback, not here. Odyssey Flights is here. Zach Frack is here. Killer Cam. What's up, Cam? Everybody is in there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. You know, hopefully we bring energy, hopefully we bring entertainment and profitable trades into your lap. So let's go. As we're all saying, what a close. Everybody liking that. Hey, man, we bring different style to Trader TV Live, and we're glad that we do that to you every single day. Yo, what's up, Dan McIsaac, as well. All right, we got out of Amazon. We actually got part filled. We must just punch out the rest right now, as there's only 30 seconds to go. Oracle, boom, upside there. Oh, it just fell in right now for Oracle. We're almost out of this one, so no point in holding this into the close. Rebalances coming out right now, so watch out for all of these. Let's just punch out of everything and get out as Oracle falling back in. Where's the countdown? Wow, we got the countdown on time here, Adara. This is very, very rare for your boy right now as we go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Buckle up. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the close. I don't get to do that enough. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, there's Pool, stock Pool. Wow, that stock got killed the other day. Good trade there for Oracle, good trade for Amazon, great trading day for Nvidia. What we're all waiting for, of course, is Micron. So I feel like it's going to be coming out very, very soon. Did we get the long on CMG? No, Dan. We talked about 63, but we were too busy spinning it on other things. We finish at the high of the day, and we do. Ramin, if we're ready, we can go over to the main show with our market recap. So as soon as we are, we'll get that. I'll keep Micron up. Right now, it's printing 142.75. Trying to go now is Micron. Without any further ado, I'm back tomorrow for the farewell tour. We'll see you then. It's the market recap show with Adara and Neil. Go get them, guys.
Yes, sir. It's Micron day. We are expecting Micron at 405. You never really know with these things, so we'll have the charts up, be locked and loaded just in case somebody either fat fingers, which somebody might have just done because it just popped $1, but no numbers just yet. We got this. We've got Levi's. We've got BlackBerry. BlackBerry, who cares about BlackBerry Adara, but let's be real. If it moves, sometimes, oh, that's not good. That is not good. Unless it's a fat finger, we just dropped $6. There's no numbers yet according to Adara, but Micron just tagged $133, down $9 from the close here, and still looking a little bit heavy, so we'll see if there's actually any data here. I hope somebody didn't fat finger before the numbers are up, but sometimes it just takes a hot minute for them to come out there. Remember, 125 is the 50 period on the daily, so that's going to be squarely 126 change. That's squarely within range here as Micron is coming into the downside, so down 9%. Continuing to look heavy, still no numbers
we're getting
on Micron.
The numbers now.
Now they're starting to come through Adara. What do we have?
Okay, so it's still coming out here. Right now I'm seeing a quarterly revenue beat, $6.81 billion versus $5.82 billion for the prior quarter. So not compared to estimates, but compared to the prior quarter. Taking a look at what I have as the estimates here to compare, it looks like they did, it looks like they beat because the estimates I'm seeing were $6.64 billion. We reported $6.81 billion. That looks like a beat. They also beat in a year-over-year basis. Last year, $3.75 billion. So far, things are looking good here. They're seeing Q4 revenue at $7.6 billion, plus or minus $200 million. I'm not really seeing any misses here. I think they're seeing Q4 earnings per share, $1.08 plus or minus 8 cents, and they're, quote, well positioned to deliver a substantial revenue record in fiscal 2025. So none of this seems bad. Still waiting for everything to come out here, though.
This was a little bit of a concern, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I wasn't sitting there saying get puts on Micron, but I was thinking stink bid on it. And sometimes that happens, and it had more to do with where the stock had come from and what had already happened to this sucker when it pulled back. You'd seen a definitive top, you saw it pull back with the rest of the names, so it felt a little bit heavy. The support is clear as day on this massive move to the upside. Since it accelerated, the 50 period's been the line. Like, that's what you wait for. Like, sometimes it's not easy where to buy dips. Most times it's not easy to know where to buy a dip, but I think in this particular case, ever since it got ham after the 87 breakout, it's been that 50 SMA on the daily. You're catching a little bit of a bid here. So when you have mostly beats, as Adara said, across the board, where does it bounce? 127.5, so not quite. About 90 cents to $1.10-ish, depending on how tight you want to be, to that 50 SMA and catching a little bit of a bid. Let this also be a warning to anybody. If you're trading post earnings, and I've seen traders do this, I know traders that have had strategies like this. Okay, if the earnings are good, then it breaks out. If it breaks down, I'm just gonna go short. I'm just gonna go with the move. If you did the same thing on Micron, you would have been into position before the earnings were out, and then you would have been absolutely rinsed. Maybe you still just stop out down here, but that's the tricky part. It's that fat finger. And I'm talking from not my personal experience, but as a floor manager here, there was a highly successful trade on this floor. Well, we were at a different location, but the same floor here in Toronto around the oil numbers. And traders were trading the oil numbers and taking directional plays, and they were banking every single week on the 1030 number. And all it took was one time that they got in before the number was released. And I'm talking a microsecond before the number was released.
Hard.
One fat finger, one early press, and that can be it. So be careful trading earnings. Micron now coming back. It's up to 135, so it's getting a little bit of a pullback here, or bounce, I should say, when the stock is going to the downside. Nothing on Levi's just yet, but absolute, utter, not carnage, but bamboozlement, let's just say, because it was strong numbers across the board. Hey, let's get into what was going on with these sectors, because Micron came out, we had to cover it. It's still making a bit of a rebound, but how often do we get to say stay on the weed? Not often lately. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith there. But MSOS leading the way in terms of what was strong in the indexes here. It has been pulling back, so maybe catching a little bit of a bid. What will be interesting for a lot of people, we have XLY also doing pretty good, like consumer discretionary. Look at the trend on this all day long. There's a reason it's one of the leaders, 1.5% to the upside. But you got to look at the overall. Trend of what's happening. And so I'm not like, I look at something like XLY. That's great, higher lows, all that good stuff. But look at this top here, big top coming in consumer discretionaries, and that's 185. So show some punch through. Otherwise, this is like a buy the dip like everything else. I think you're running into big time resistance when you're in that it's not really multi-year resistance. It's a resistance on 2024. I think you got to be very careful. Super strong name, but I think you'd be running into a bit of a rough spot. Hey, good day for ARC. They're actually up today. GDX dead flat. We've talked a little bit about gold recently. It's in a bit of a pullback phase here. And like you look at GDX, obviously the miners are a little bit different. GLD, some people like to track a little bit better. But I think when you get a pullback like that, the trend is breaking on GDX. And if you were looking at GLD, which is the other one, it's a very, very similar story. You're underneath the 50. You're coming back into some support here. You don't want to lose that support. You get good scalp trades off levels like this, but when it goes, you got a bit of a gap to fill. So some kinks in the armor starting to pull into that metals market. But before, I know we're going to have Chris Breter come on here.
We are.
But I saw you, and we're going to talk to him about Nvidia.
Okay.
And I know you were in Nvidia.
Oh, yeah.
So walk me through your Nvidia trade. Because I'll tell you right now, like I was down Nvidia. I was going longs in Nvidia. I didn't take any short trades in Nvidia. Eventually got to 123. I managed to make 2/3 of what I lost back, but I didn't get it all back because it never really punched through till very late in the day. But you had some trades in Nvidia, so I'd like to know what your approach was today at Era.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna pull up the chart so I can just like look for myself because I had a couple levels I liked. I was very scalpy. I did longs and I took it short, so it really depends. I was mostly short biased, though I am generally a bit more short biased. I'm gonna switch to the 5 minutes so I can like make sure I can kind of see what I was seeing then. Do you know what I mean? So the big thing for me was 125, pretty much where we are now actually. And 125 was an area for me because when I was pulling it up in the pre-market, I saw what we did at 125, and I said to myself, it's one thing that you all have always said a lot, is like, even if you don't take the trade, think how would you take the trade, right? So obviously I'm not trading in the pre-market, but I saw that 125 and I said, if I was involved in this, I'd be watching. If it broke below 125, I'd take it short. If it held 125, I'd take it long. The long worked out. Sean took that. It like popped up there, right? So I said, okay, good to know. 125 is the level. I wrote it down. Then as I come to my desk, it happens to be right as I come to my desk, the 125 hits again. And I said, Adara, if it breaks 125, you take this short. If it holds it, go long. It broke, we took it short, and then I just kept shorting it at certain levels. I had a couple really hyper-specific levels. 124, every whole dollar level for Nvidia pretty much was interesting that I saw. 124 was huge. There were like a couple levels up near 123, but my main levels were 124, 25, 124, I think 670, 124.95. We never got back above 125. Well, I saw it anyway. So it was just shorting every pop and then going long if those areas of resistance that I held, I saw held as support.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
stop ranting now.
Just to clarify, at the end of the day, it did get past the 125. But as you mentioned, look, for the majority of the day, once it broke down after we lost the opening range, after 11 o'clock and throughout the midday, you didn't sniff that 125. So when you look at that, if you're trading a trend, there was a trader that I've said this story like a million times before. There was a trader that I sat behind when I was a trainee, and he literally chanted to himself while trading a downward trend, short the pops, short the pops. And it was like he just said it out loud. And whatever works. Like I've said this before, like you'll hear me say, don't chase, don't chase. I'm literally talking to myself. We're live on air, but I'm saying don't chase, don't chase, don't chase, because I have an entry that I want. And I know that if I chase a move, then all of a sudden the amount that you're losing relative to the expected move that I might make gets out of whack. And I'm very math-ways. I treat it mathematical. I never want to be in that trade that you can't make back from. Like if you always, as a trader, have an idea of what it is that you're making on a day or a week or whatever it might be, how you like to judge it. And then from there, you can have your entry and your exit and then share size accordingly. So if it goes wrong, you know what your cost is. You know how much you're going to lose. And then if it goes right, you know that relative to what you lose, you're making it up. It's all well and good if you have a good trade in there, but if the time that good trade doesn't work costs you 5 times than what you would win, then it doesn't matter how much you make on that trade. Ultimately, like you make $1,000 on a trade, but if you lose 5 when you take that setup, you lose 5 the next time, it doesn't make a difference. If you're trading Micron today, I gotta tell you, you're still losing. It is holding that bid. I was asked what I liked for stink bids. Just to reiterate, like I had said I liked the stink bid on the stock. But remember, that was the 50-period moving average on the daily, which is down here at 126 bucks. I even said like 25 would be the ideal, like wicket, and then catch the bid. It's right back to 133. And if you were hyper aggressive, I think maybe, reasonably speaking, I guess like 127.5. That's really aggressive. If you like 25s and 26s, I think on earnings that's giving it a little bit too much. So no stink bid in there, unfortunately. But Micron still teetering back and forth. It's now down 6%. It wasn't all bad. Really, they actually ended up beating top and bottom there. I think you said the guidance wasn't even that bad.
We got
either. Levi's, I was going to say Levi's.
Ugh. Well, they missed revenue. I just put it in the chat as well. So they did miss on revenue here, 1.4 billion versus the estimate of 1.452 billion. So slight revenue miss there. Earnings per share, though, that was a beat. We have 16 cents per share versus the estimate of 11 cents per share. They also announced an 8% increase to their dividend. They also here reaffirming their guidance, 1.3% year-over-year revenue growth. So that's all going to be the same. They actually raised their quarterly dividend here as well, as I mentioned there. And the adjusted net income, like I said, we beat on adjusted net income. And the EPS, but the total inventory has decreased 7% on a dollar basis as of the end of the quarter. So a bit of a mixed report. That revenue miss is worth noting, even though it's pretty small.
Yeah, not a great look at all for them. At least, look, it's not down 10% or anything. So I don't know if we'll get the patented retail SSR bounce, which has been a thing on any of these ones that are strong. Look, Levi's has been in an upward trend. It's 10% short float, so always more fun if it's going up than down. But you just lost the 50 period. You're right into not a significant level, I would say, at this $21. I would, look at $19. Looks like a pretty big one in here. But yeah, you've lost the 50 period moving average on Levi's. It's not looking good. Now it's down 9% and continuing to fall. So the good news for this, if you're looking for a silver lining, is the stock is absolutely tanking. That would be this last couple of earnings rounds. We've seen retail names specifically that have a short float get smoked, and then you look for the rebound the following day. Sometimes it's great right at the open. Other times you wait for like a even dollar level. I'm selfishly hoping that this one is down 10%, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with Levi's. Not looking good at all. Still tracking that MU. I suppose we'll say something about BlackBerry if their earnings are out. To be honest with you, I actually, there was not seeing anything, and I haven't even looked. I was looking out for Levi's. Yeah, Micron's right back into that 130. And Rivian Millionaire, sorry. I know he's like, yeah, Neil, why didn't you bid 127.88 on Micron? Well, I mean, if you're stink bidding, usually it's for a technical reason. Like, I'll like a price level of support, so that's where I want to buy it. And if you're sitting out there in front of earnings, like if I'm going to do that with a stop, and a stop's at 125, you're kind of predetermining how much you want to lose on it, right? So if I'm saying it breaks 25 and I'd be out, then I'm going to always say, well, okay, if I'm getting in at 126.10, then I'm willing to lose. Essentially, it's like 1%, right? Like I kind of told myself 1% VWAP, not VWAP, but the 50 period into the 125. If I traded at the 127.5, I guess you could always just take less shares and lose 2% instead of 1, but that wasn't the plan of action. I'll probably never get that fill, end up canceling it when we cancel the show, when we're done the show. No need to leave it out there. We'll see what happens tomorrow with Micron. But you know what, Adara? You weren't the only one that was trading and had good ideas on Nvidia. I know a certain somebody else that wants to talk a little bit of Nvidia. So without further ado, let's get it on to Trader Talk. Chris Breter, good to have you once again. Always excited to get a chance to talk to you, especially when the market's moving, which it doesn't always move a lot, but the last couple of days, wow. We've seen a bunch of 52-week highs, all-time highs, some pullbacks. Specifically today, you had the investor event for Nvidia, which is moving like a dream for short-term traders. I mean, people that are buying tops, maybe not the time to be doing that. But first thing, welcome. How are you doing? And what were you doing with Nvidia today?
I'm doing great. We have a big promotion going on. And luckily, the trades are working where you just take a quick loss when you have one and you let the profits run. So the profits in the pot stocks worked. Profits in the indexes worked. So most of the stuff worked, and the stuff that didn't, we got out of fast. And so that worked. And I wanted to go over Nvidia because, I know there are a lot of people on, let's say, Twitter that talk about all that matters is charts. And then you have other people, all that matters are fundamentals. So we try to combine a lot of things. And that's why we were messing around with Nvidia this morning, because I'm really into this reversion to the mean kind of trade and charts. So the first thing I thought I'd show you, if you want me to go over this, unless you have other questions, I'm happy to answer anything.
Everybody wants Nvidia. The thing about it, Chris, and at the end of the day, like our show it's for the viewers and the traders. And there are some people that might say, oh, it's boring to always talk about Nvidia. But I think traders understand the concept of there's always, I hate the term the hot chick, but like that's what a lot of people would say. It's like, what is that thing today? What is that thing that week? Which is going to give you the best opportunities to trade. And for a while, Nvidia has been near the top of that list. So I have no qualms. I think we should start there. I did want to get your thoughts on a few other things, but I think we should be starting with Nvidia, rightfully so.
Yeah, the thing is, number one, the more widely followed the stock, and I had a lot of points of contention about this when I got it in the chat yesterday, but the more that a stock is followed, the more that support and resistance works even pre-opening. So, and I'll tell you right now, I mean, Nvidia's had, some fantastic action. It's sort of like me when I was pole dancing at Planet Fitness. So that's not a pretty scene. So I just want to let you know that. But getting back to it about good action in Nvidia, pre-market on Monday, aftermarket Monday night. So Nvidia went right here, went right to that 115.90, right to the prior tops becomes support. So that was pretty cool. That went right to support like you see there. So the other thing in here is then it rallied this morning. We call it the hook resistance. So in fact, I'll show you. Let me go and take Thinkorswim, and I'll take you to the pre-market and the after hours if you like that, because there's a lot to do, and it's an art, not a science, no doubt about it. But I got to tell you, when you look at Nvidia and you go to Monday night, and you'll see the support right there. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Right to that red line where we had marked support from Sunday night. Then when it rallied to where everybody was hooked from a few days ago. So that was pretty cool. So that was number one, is that support and resistance even works pre-market. So the normal hours support and resistance also can be tested each way pre-market, which is really cool.
I want to make an important point for that as well. And one of the things that Nvidia has done, especially post-split, the volume and liquidity in the pre-market in Nvidia is exceptional is the word. There was a time when I think like Tesla really used to have this kind of pre-market volume for a big cap tech name back when it was in its upswing. It was doing all the gamma squeezing stuff. You could trade that like it was normal early on. And I feel like a lot of that shifted to Nvidia, where it'll be like 2, 3, 4 million shares when you're sitting down. And it looks like if you didn't look at the time, it's a NASDAQ stock. It's not New York. So it's not like there's any books that are missing. But if you didn't look at the time, you couldn't tell that it wasn't already open and trading like normal. That's an important thing, but I love that support and resistance. I'm not gonna lie, Chris, you basically had both of us dying with that with the pole dancing comment there. I'm sure it's a good workout. By the way, just so you know, I got crutches next to me because I tore my Achilles. Maybe that's what I need to do. I can't use my legs. All you gotta do is hold on and all those moves. Probably would be an abject disaster that literally no one would want to see at all, except for maybe some kind of a goofy video. But
no, it's probably something that it's sort of like when I'm on the disco floor. I want to be in as crowded a floor as possible in the middle so nobody can see me.
You just gotta have fun with it. The way I see it is there's no such thing as a bad dancer. There's just haters out there, right? Because if you're having fun on the floor, then that's all that matters to you, right? Like that's my outlook on it. But at the same time, I've said before, my older brother is like a salsa dancing instructor. So I have to say that because I stink and he's great. So I'm always gonna look bad. But as long as you're having fun, that's what's gonna matter here, Chris.
Yeah, I think of Seinfeld though with Elaine when she was dancing. It's one of my favorite scenes. And every time that we've gone dancing, I'm always tell my wife, I hope you or me don't look like Elaine. So.
That's all you can ever hope for.
But getting back to it about Nvidia. So definitely you can tell I have ADHD, that I could go off on that tangent. But getting back to it about Nvidia. So basically their shareholders meeting came out today at noon.
Yep.
So our theory with a lot of these kinds of things, number one, Nvidia went to that resistance zone. We call it the hook zone because that's where so many people got hooked on the gap down. So if I take off the non-24 hours, you can see that this area right here, that's when it gapped down and everybody was stuck. So that becomes resistance because everybody's thrilled to get out, even if it's pre-market. But the key is that this morning it opened up, and it opened up because of Just good bounce, number one. And number two, all the hopium into the shareholders meeting. And that doesn't mean to fade it just because there's a shareholders meeting coming out. It's that the stock any stock that has a big event, even Apple's event, usually what happens is the stock settle down prior to the event. But before we just blindly say that, you also try to combine it with the chart pattern. So I'm combining the fundamental with the chart. And you can see that when you got those points of contact in that little bear flag, yeah, that was a green light to short it. Then you got another bear flag and then another one. The problem with the ones down here, you started to get to support. So I like when there's no real support. That's why this one, when it broke here, you didn't have a lot under here. This one, when it broke, you didn't have a lot right here. Now, that's only a 1.5, but then this one is a couple of, like 3 points. But the point is you're going on things reverting to unchanged prior to an event and combining it with the chart pattern.
Yeah, I love that. And there's a line that actually was from a previous trader years and years ago. And I get euphemisms, and I've told you that I love to steal sayings from traders. But one that he used to say was, don't take, even if you like a stock in the trend and you like the level of good stuff, don't take a breakout into overhead resistance. Like if everything lines up, but like right on top of that level, too tight to where you try to take profit is going to be overhead resistance, or for short, that support level, then that might not be the best entry. You might like the trend, just find a better place to get in. And because I was long Nvidia today, and it was the 123, like where you're saying that support was, that's where I was playing the long. Ultimately, it was much better later than good. But yeah, it was this level here. And as I say this, just sort of speaking out, like thinking out loud, this now feels like after that late day rally that we just had, tomorrow, now anything can happen tomorrow. You could open up and maybe you could gap down to 1 in 19, you could gap up, anything could happen. But this 123 all of a sudden, there's a lot of room to 120. There's a lot of room to that 115 that you were also mentioning down there. So that becomes an important landmark. The trade isn't over necessarily. I mean, it might be. You never really know what's going to happen when we wake up in the morning. But we do know that 123, that support, if we lose that on Nvidia, this is a stock that is a long way to go before it gets into bear territory. And it's done it before, 20% pullback and then rallies.
That's what you're talking about right there, right?
Yeah, the 123 level, exactly. Yeah, right in there. That support level. That's the exact one.
Yeah, and that's why this was so important on the far left here, that when that broke, there was nothing underneath. And so when I did a class, really like a bear flag against support is less likely to be trusted and vice versa. And I'll show you an idea. Like today, we were long MSOS, that pot stock. So we were going on the support zone. But you're exactly right. On the different side was, where do you get out if you're right? And there you go. Everybody's caught up right there, when now it's at this massive support, this resistance area. So you got to at least get out of some. And that's what I was showing everybody, that I sold half of what we had. Because even if I think it could go eventually to here, you know, it's got to work off any kind of overbought so it has enough energy to plow over that resistance. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's not to say, look, you could trend long that, like MSOS was a great long all day, but you know, you get to that $8, you can see that it's out there. Like if that's not your reason to take profit, I always ask the question, it's like, well, then where would you take profit? If you wouldn't take profit there, sometimes it's like, well, you don't have a profit-taking area. You're just kind of hoping for that dream. From a trading standpoint, I think that's absolutely perfect. And then you know what, Chris? Tomorrow's another day, next week's another week. If it breaks out that next level, you've got a continuation play for you, and then you got a separate trade that you can pile on.
Yeah, well, that's why we got out of half. I always say that if it goes down now, you look like a genius getting out of half. And if it breaks up and opens up at 9, you feel like a genius only getting out of half. But the other thing is the house money kind of way of looking at it is, if I sold it and made enough, all of a sudden my cost basis on the original amount is so low that it takes some pressure off and you can let it more ride.
100% true. As a day trader, that's an important part. One of the best ways to get better at holding for longer is to put yourself in a position where you've taken profit in the earlier stages of the move, so that holding on to that last piece, even if you have to have some pain as it draws back on you, it's not that much because you're playing with house money. Can't say that enough, Chris. Yeah, we're getting on time here. I know we're next week. You're on vacation. You're mentioning you're going on what? You're going on vacation
no,
next
it's funny
week?
because we're going to Universal, which is my idea of not thrilling in July in Orlando. But it's really funny because I don't know if you ever saw Young Frankenstein, where they're like, could be worse, could be raining. Well, you're supposed to have torrential rains down there when I'm there. So it's just sort of interesting. But yeah, I'll be at Universal Orlando with my son and my wife next week.
Well, enjoy it nonetheless. I hope it doesn't rain for you. I know how that Florida rain can go. Like when it rains in Florida, they don't play around down there. But sometimes it's quick. You never really know. Enjoy Universal.
It's the lightning. You just don't want lightning if you're like wanting to ride the Hulk.
Well, that's true. I haven't been on that one in a while. It was, I'm not going to say how long ago it was that I rode that, but it was more than a decade, that ride. Enjoy that. Time with the family, always important. So next week, we won't have you on. We'll have you on the week after that. But enjoy, also enjoy that trade that you got going on MSOS, and good luck holding on to that second portion. Thank you for your thoughts on Nvidia. Chris Breter from Simpler Trading, great friend of the show. Check him out every single week. Maybe not next week when you're in Universal. But always a good friend of the show. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having me on. It's great to be on.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
What a great guest. Always so much fun.
Yeah, so fun.
He lightens it up. He's got great ideas. That Nvidia show, what I love about that is those technicals, pre-market trading. Not everybody wants to pre-market trade these big cap tech names or do it the same way. But Nvidia's got the volume. He just showed you that the levels can hold out. So it's something we can start to look at. Dara, I know you're very, very busy in the pre-market. A lot of times you're preparing, but sometimes maybe sneak those charts because, as you saw, you were trading Nvidia.
It helps in Nvidia with that pre-market. That's what I said too. Like at 9:15, I saw that 125, and that was what gave me the impetus to look at that level again because it bounced there. But I was like, if this breaks, and it broke.
And you never know what is going to trigger that good idea for you. So always keep your eyes peeled. Shout out to you for that. That's what real trading is all about. It's just getting better from day after day, looking at the markets and taking what the market gives you. That's what we're all about here. Got to get to the roll call because it's 4:30 and we'll always get that pressure in there. So shout out, as always. You know how we're going to start it. First things first. I pop a freaks all. No, I don't know. Let's not just. Never mind.
That was going to be like Fancy by Iggy Azalea. First things first, I'm the realist. I was like, that would be really
See, you're going to go to, see, that's the difference. It's a generational difference. It's like Ramin goes to Iggy, you go to Iggy, and I keep it real as far as I'm concerned. That's all I'm going to say. But
there's also a J. Cole one you could have done with that too, with that first things first, or some peace, Uncle Phil. There's a couple you could have done.
You could go to J. Cole, but I mean, Biggie. Anyway, let's get to the roll call. No, first things first, we got to shout out to Bears versus Bulls, the best in the world when it comes to moderation of the best trading show out there. That's our show, but it's all about you. Thank you for everything that you do, Bears versus Bulls. We don't say that enough. Salute to you. And have a good one as well. Shout out to Mr. Westerite. Hey, you're going on vacation as well. Sit in a few days, so have a fun one on that vacation. Thank you so much for the kind words. Brandon Townsend. Neo Roberts, always in the chat. Love the name. Mahesh. 1320 Wolf, we see you. Rivian Millionaire. Yeah, hit that like button. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and don't forget to check out the podcast. I'm going to remind you when we get to the end of this roll call, you're really going to want Saturdays. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to want to watch that one. When it comes out, you can watch anytime. Doesn't have to be Saturday, but you guys are all watching. Shout out to you, Trey Only, Daryl Flinch, what up? Sebastian JP, Monty G, Joe Dressenhouse. Is that the name? I don't know if I got that right. We got Leon Perez. We got Bebot the Piper. Chandler Mazier. We've got, Adara there saying thank you for Bears Bulls as well. So Adara in the chat. Into Cable. Maybe you're still hooked up to cable.
I love
I am
it.
disconnected. But I don't know if that's the cable you're referring to. I feel like not many people have cable TV anymore, but that's just me doing random thoughts. Alaric B, we got Mark L, DJ Marshall, Mahesh Mahat, we've got Jay Haas, we got Fat Figure. What up? Fat Figure. From the early morning to the late night, you're the first in the chat every single day. You're the second. I beat you because I put it live. No, you're the first in the chat every single day, Fat Figure. I know the loyalty you have. Talking ideas at 7 a.m. in the chat, always starting early and then ending late. Anthony Kerr, Bristow, 4L Taz. We've got Vanilla Man. We've got Alderic. I think we got you already. Caesar, Sandoval, Vanilla Man in America. What up?
That verse is one of the best in hip-hop history. I'm sorry. One of the best.
First things first, I'll eat your brain.
It's from Monster. It's Nicki's verse in Monster, which, yeah, it's like midway through the verse. So first things first, I'll eat your brain, then I'll start rock and roll teeth. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more of it, but
yes,
that
you
is,
are.
It's it. When I have it prepared with like the clean lyrics, yeah, I can, sure.
Okay, that's important when you because I told Adair the story. I used to do the thing where I'd rap, and we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, when I used to do that Friday rap thing, there was that one time. I don't even remember what the song was, but I didn't know the clean version, and I got to the part where I shouldn't be saying what I almost said, and then it throws you off, and I completely bungled it because I didn't want to get us like demonetized on YouTube. And you guys can all imagine exactly what the word was going to be, but. I don't know if it's the greatest line or one of the greatest lines in rap history.
Well, the verse, the whole verse, not that just that line, but the verse in general.
Okay, maybe I need to listen to more Nicki Minaj.
It's a Kanye song, but it's Kanye, Rick Ross, Bon Iver, Nicki, and it slaps. That's all I'll say on that.
There you go. That's what you need. You want slaps? Well, tomorrow there's going to be slaps in the market, starting with Micron, which got beat up a little bit. Also, Levi's got taken out. But do not forget, before we get out of here, there's a special podcast. Every podcast is amazing. Look, at the end of the day, Brennan and Sean putting in a lot of hard work. Ramin, Fabian making sure they look and sound good. The Freedom Wealth podcast is going to be taken off, but it's a little bit different. Special. We're going to be discussing some of the topics that we went over with Mr. O'Leary, which I think was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Great interview. And a great opportunity there. Talked about a lot of higher end concepts. So tune in every single Saturday, and you can check it out whenever you want. It is going to be that episode 4. But we're back tomorrow morning. The market does not sleep. You still have 2 more trading days and a lot to get through. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you right back here at 8:30 in the morning. Maybe some pre-market trading on Nvidia. You never know. Take care, everybody.
Take care. Now I have that song in my head.